The VGJ Storm roster that reached top 8 at TI this summer found themselves a new home and a new offlaner. TI winning Universe stepped up to the plate this season, and with a Kings Cup Regionals title already under their belt, this team is already making waves. With their dynamic support duo and the prolific Resolution, there's potential to go far. Runners-up in the NA Regionals, please give it up for Forward Gaming. Frontrunners for the entire DPC last season, they've kept their double major winning roster, but have yet to fully assert their dominance. Humbled in Hamburg, they arrive in Kuala Lumpur with a point to prove and scores to settle. Winners of the CIS Regionals and led by the iconic Solo, please give a big hand for Virtus.pro.
Welcome back to the Kuala Lumpur Major live from the Park Royal Hotel. We are in Group D of the group stages. It is day 2 already, and it is also Series 2 coming your way. It is the upper bracket finals of the group. Both of the teams you're going to see have won a series today, their first series of the tournament. We're going to see Virtus.pro and Forward. And to preview the match, we've got Black, we've got Gods, and we've got BSJ. Before we preview the match from Group D, though, I quickly want to check in with Group C, which is going on at the same time. 2 first matches have been played as well. We got LGD and Fnatic coming out on top, 2-0s. And I know you guys, it's not super exciting, Brian. I guess this is kind of what we were expecting, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's just the caliber of teams, just separate tiers, and like I feel like at best teams like Tigers or Gambler will take like 1 game or maybe even make it a close game in one of the games, but it's fully expected. I feel like no matter what happens between LGD, Fnatic, I expect both of them to go to the upper bracket anyway.
It's probably the most predictable group, right?
Did you guys see any of the games though? Maybe, like, I mean, I agree it's very predictable. Maybe the games were good.
No, I just heard they got kind of like, I don't know, Tigers got kind of demolished by LGD.
I saw a little bit of those games.
Yeah.
But the other series I didn't see.
Yeah, I didn't see any of Fnatic.
I heard that Fnatic had some issues trying to go high ground, and that's why it took a little bit longer than the other series, but the game was never really in jeopardy for them.
That's what I was kind of told, is that it sounded like they didn't just walk over them, but the game felt like they were going to win the entire way.
Yeah. You can have like 50-minute games that can still be convincing.
Yeah. When you know they're over at 20 and they last 50, those are the worst games to watch.
Yeah, but you don't have to watch them.
Well, let's say, what's playing like when you're in that position?
Well, you're like, there's like that 1% chance that they dive our tier 4s and we can come back, and so since there's so much on the line, you have to play.
And then they dive your tier 4s and you still die.
Yeah, trust me, I'm all too familiar with this scenario.
But you gotta try, you know, you always do. There's always these chances to come back, and we do see sometimes teams bring it back.
OG at TI, I think they kind of remind everyone, you guys shouldn't GG out. I think TNC at this tournament reminded everyone, you guys shouldn't GG out. We will throw this game. So
generally, it's when the weaker team overall is the one that's ahead that it ends up being a comeback. Like, very rarely do I feel like, do you see the better team ahead throw the game. Like, that's how I feel, at least. So, like, whenever I see the better team ahead, it's always, like, such a demoralizing, like, slow defeat, because they're always so methodical, very calculated, like, get that 30K net worth lead if we have to, finish the game finally, so.
Well, we don't have to watch a game like that. The upper bracket finals of that group, by the way, will be going on the second stream, so make sure to check that out. And if you want to watch everything at the same time and also different player perspective, go check out Snipe TV. You can get yourself a digital pass and basically watch everything, every angle, every lane, all the matches, everything that you want. And of course, you can watch it on Twitch, you can watch it on Facebook, watch where you like, how you like. It's plenty of options to explore. You don't have to miss a single thing, and if you stay here, you're all good as well, because we'll keep you informed of everything happening, and you get to watch the upper bracket finals of Group D. So that will be Virtus.pro and Forward Gaming, 2 teams that people have high expectations of going into this, and it should be a really good match. We did see Virtus.pro drop a game against Alliance earlier, which was fairly un-Virtus.pro-like, but maybe they needed that little kick in the butt to That's a step it up against Forward. Forward didn't have any trouble taking down Pain X, though. That was their first matchup of this group. This best of 3, though, I'm curious to hear from you guys. Like, we've seen both teams. We know what form they are. What's the thoughts going into this matchup? Who wants to go first, God?
Ooh, I mean, I think VP's always, you expect them to be good, dominant, all that. They're VP. Forward's, I think, harder for me because the one tournament they played before this, they had a stand-in for a pretty crucial player you are, and they had Excalibur, who I think is a good stand-in, but it's not like, mind control standing in for NIP. Like, that's like, okay, this team you can rate highly. To me, that's an event where I don't really look at Forward's results and take too much away from it. So, not really sure how good Forward's going to be.
Expecting them to be on par with VP, or?
Not really, but I'm ready to be happily surprised, I guess.
I feel like VP should, on paper, be quite a lot stronger than Forward. But you never know. They looked a bit shaky in Game 2 against the Lions.
They didn't exactly convince me that they're unstoppable. VP.
Yeah, same.
So, and like, even though Forward 2-0'd Pain X, it sounded like the games weren't just like smooth sailing. It's not like they just walked over them. So I feel like both teams have kind of left us with, they haven't convinced me at least that they're like just unstoppable, or just one of them's going to crush the other, or even that both of these teams are going to go to the upper bracket. I feel like either of these teams could potentially drop the series
and then
to and then like potentially lose to Alliance or Pain X. So probably Alliance if I had to guess, but that's for later. I just feel like VP, they're just such a hard team to read every tournament. Like, sometimes they come into tournaments and you're just like, how does this team ever lose a tournament? And then sometimes you see them at like TI and Hamburg, and they just don't look like
VP. They did come third at Hamburg. That's not a bad result.
I'm just saying, like, they don't look like these players are some of the best players if you watch them individually. True. So to see them not win is just so weird.
They got knocked out by Secret there, was it?
Yeah.
It's not like they played bad, but they're just like known as the top 3 teams in the world. I feel like.
Yeah. Not up to their standard.
Yeah, exactly.
Like bulldozing everyone.
I also think there's something to be said for, first series of the day in the morning. You're still waking up. First series of the tournament as a whole. Like, you're still kind of just getting comfortable. Maybe a little jet lag. Even though teams have been here a little while, it sounds like a lame excuse to just throw out there. But there is an element where teams just often play worse that first game or two of the day.
And you got Broodmother 3 games in a row.
3 games in a row. Yeah.
I mean, which also, I mean, they win that game 3. So at that point, you should be used to the brooding. But
before this panel segment, I asked Gods which 2 players would be his key players of this matchup, and Gods, you went for Solo and SVG.
It's kind of the old versus the new as far as captains go. You see Solo there. He has a long history, 28 years old. He's been around playing competitive Dota for a long, long time.
Yeah.
SVG, he's one of the newcomers, particularly as a captain. There haven't been many new captain faces kind of coming out of the pro scene. You look at the top 8 of most TIs, and it's familiar faces in that captain role. It's the veterans, but SVG, probably most well known for his time when he was coaching EG initially, then formed a team with Envy on NP, and has found great success with this group of guys.
Started playing 2015.
Yeah.
That's very recent. As in, compared to most of the top tier players, that's very young.
I mean, I feel like what he's accomplished recently is impressive. I feel like NA as a region has just lacked strong captaining. You always know about, like, PPD, potentially Kyle, and, like, then the list is... Like,
I mean, EG, but EG
EG's kind of like...
it's always not an American guy.
Yeah, and it's always been shifting, too.
Yeah.
So it's just... To see what he's done with, VGJ Storm last year and Forward Gaming has been more than impressive to me, just because he's took players that have been in the scene or like trying to be in the scene for a long time and finally managed to make them like a respectable team.
I feel like MSS is a good example of a guy who's been praised as being one of like the best NA Dota players for a long time, but never really got to show it. And all it took was finding a good captain like SVG to build a team around, and suddenly he's looked amazing.
Yeah, both teams also didn't really change that much since TI. You got, of course, our Zeke now instead of Arsart. Personally, I'm not that familiar yet with what he offers, but we do see him sitting in the drafting chair, so Solo gets a little bit of a break to deal with some jet lag issues, which according to him was still a little bit present there. And of course, on the other side, you got Snaking being replaced by Universe, which, according to many, is just a direct one-on-one upgrade.
Yeah, just a flat-out upgrade. For most people, probably.
That's why everyone thinks, that was the whole Fnatic thing. Oh, well, Universe is available. Can't say no to Universe.
I mean, we don't know You know, it's only the team that really knows. And of course, they're not just gonna say, "Yeah, snaking was bad. You know, it was much better." Like, they're not just gonna say that.
From an outsider perspective, it does look like that.
Yeah.
I feel like Universe and Snaking, from playing with both of them in pubs and what I've heard about them, is Snaking is like a very vocal, very like do it. I have a way of doing things, do it that way kind of player. And I feel like that's fine, like on certain teams that fits in. And I feel like Universe, on the other hand, is the guy that whenever I play with him or whenever I've heard about him, he just is always doing the right thing, and he kind of just fits his hero into the lineup. So I feel like a player like that could be much more useful to a team like Forward Gaming, and just like as a player that's new to the team, meaning that he hasn't played with the team very long, he's much easier to play with.
And
and
it's almost like the opposite was true with Snaking, because I feel when J-Storm, VGJ Storm last year with this roster were doing well, it was like, wow, when Snaking's just having good game after good game. But the problem was they had to play a lot around him, and if Snaking was if he was getting pressure, having a rough time, the team as a whole couldn't really function.
Yep.
It was like a requirement that Snaking had a good time for them to do well.
I think also a big problem with Snaking was he couldn't really take the pressure sometimes. Like, he was the only one that was really farmed, and then he kind of just crumbled under it. And I think Universe is a lot better in that regard. Like, if he actually has to take the pressure, he will just do so and actually not really crumble under it.
I think there's benefits and negatives to like both types of these players. I just feel like Snaking requires a much more specific setting for his way of playing to work. But back into this game, the draft started out. Thank God I don't have to see any Morphling after watching the Virtus.pro series, especially with the Empower.
Terrorblade time.
Tiny's the other hero. I feel like teams, somehow this series gained like 8th, 9th pick some games. I'm like, how is Tiny not just like first 2 picked every game?
You just don't want to waste a ban sometimes. I don't want to say like waste a ban, but there's so many heroes to concern yourself with later on in the draft that like Tiny he's a good hero, but like would you rather have a Tiny or like potentially get Huskard or something, you know?
No, to me, I'm fine with the idea of not banning him. It's more just like not picking him kind of baffles me, because he's that flex pick in the first 2. You can put him in a 4 position, 5 position. Tiny's even being seen at this tournament by several teams. Like, there's no real downsides to me to first 2 picking Tiny.
Yeah, too strong of a hero for sure.
I think a lot of people or like a lot of teams are just trying to kind of counter it. You know, they're like, oh, everybody picks this. They're gonna pick it for sure. Maybe we can just figure something out to beat it easily. But it doesn't really seem to be the case. He's strong on lane. Always has nuke down potential. It's just very scary to play a lot of heroes against Tiny. Like, you don't want to have a Lina. You don't want to... Even Morphling is scary. Even Terrorblade can be scary to play against a Tiny. Just die from full health every time.
For this specific matchup, which heroes are like the highest contested heroes, would you say? Like, which heroes are typical for these 2 teams? Because obviously these 3 are very typical for every team at the moment.
I'm sure they pick PL or Drow here.
Yeah.
I feel like those are their 2 options, and I feel like Drow just goes down in value because of the fact that Terrorblade's one of the better carries against Drow. I only say Drow because it's Forward Gaming, and they love their Drow.
I surprised they first picked Ogre.
Yeah, it was
when there's like so much stuff in the pool still.
I think they're scared of Ogre Terrorblade. Like, that's a very strong combination of opening. It also potentially sets up for a Necro, and I think that's the reason why they picked the Silencer with the Terrorblade, is because they want to like kind of block pick the Necro. And instead they go for a Mag. Okay,
so
I like that
against
that makes a lot of carries better against Terrorblade.
And the issue is, I feel like when you see this TB first 2, you feel pressured just to pick PL or Morphling, which you can't because it's banned because no other carries match up. But you put a Magnus in there, and suddenly these other carries that don't normally keep up with the TB and just lose late game to TB don't, because Empower. This just makes your carry pool bigger.
At the same time, though, I feel if you're a TB against the Mag lane, you generally just farm a lot more than against other pressure off lanes. Because Mag doesn't really pressure you too much. He just sits there with Empower and tries to farm himself.
If you pair it with like Lina or some ranged nuker that also right clicks, or I've seen Wind Ranger Mag be pretty strong. Just some hero that can actually harass the Terrorblade, because like you said, the Mag itself doesn't apply pressure. They already banned out the Troll, which I think is one of the better heroes against Terrorblade with the Mag. I feel like heroes like Jug and carries that generally struggle really hard against Terrorblade can actually function decently.
I think Phantom Lancer could be really good. Okay,
I honestly assume they were gonna ban it.
Yeah.
Monkey King looks good for me too from Forward Gaming. I know Yawar's been playing it a lot. So like 4th pick Monkey King could be quite scary, and I think that's something teams like Virtus.pro always think about. Like, they make sure they don't pick, 2 melee heroes here.
Yeah.
Second phase bans already done. Both teams not needing a whole lot of their bonus time so far. Everything thought out nicely, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they probably had way less time to prepare for this matchup since you're going to be focusing on your first game of the day. You don't really want to get too ahead of yourselves and assume you're going to win by any means.
Generally, the openings can be pretty calculated. I feel like from what I've been told, most captains don't plan past the first phase. And like maybe the band's following it, but like from now it's just you're adjusting to whatever's happening.
It's kind of hard to just plan out the entire draft,
Yeah.
unless you have like a specific strat.
Too much can happen. Sometimes like the third pick will often decide what your last 2 picks are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
And I imagine VP weren't, planning for a second pick Magnus, so that when that fourth pick in this case out of the 4 opening picks, and then they have to adjust their bans.
absolutely. And like they probably weren't going to ban Troll, but they were probably going to ban PL already after picking Terrorblade. But that kind of example just makes it so difficult to plan ahead.
Brewmaster, Dispel against Empower,
And Bloodlust too.
not all too bad. Yeah, it's a very value game for that hero and just a good hero. You need a team fight starter here. It can also flex as a 4 position if you don't want to play it as a core.
I feel like if VP picks like Storm or like a Zeus for no one, this Magnus is gonna have an incredibly hard time against Silencer as well as one of those heroes. He's never gonna be in a good position to fight an RP, I think. That's effectively a way to shut down a hero.
I also think they're more focused on giving no one a good lane matchup because they've got 10th pick of the draft. Like they're not just going to be planning like some Zeus pick here. They're not worried about Magnus as a hero. They're worried about countering Yuar and Rezo's hero more so with their last pick.
Oh, I like that.
Shaman.
Okay. The Empower hits for like 90.
There we go. Yeah. Mag Shaman lane sounds pretty strong.
It's not the greatest against Terrorblade in regards to the fact that illusions clear the Shadow Shaman wards really well.
Yes.
Is the only thing I can say.
And
Anytime
even in
you
the
have an
lane,
illusion hero.
you're heavily outranging Shaman too with the
Yeah.
Metamorph. So you have that 90-ish damage, but can you actually get those right clicks in?
As of now, VP has no support that cancels the shackles though. So that's something where
Oh,
that makes
Global.
No, I'm saying sorry. I'm saying in lane. Sorry, like 'cause
Fair enough, fair
in
enough.
lane, it's very scary as a carry player to play against Shaman if you have no way to cancel shackle.
Just last word him a little.
And there you go. I like that pick. Like I want
Nice.
something that cancels shackle.
And can steal it very easily.
Yeah. Now
too.
you're against the mag too.
But Rubik
like this
TP lane
is-
is quite weak on paper.
I
Will
think
they
I
doing
think Jug's their best hero.
How does this work? I mean, are they not going to put Rubik down there with Brewmaster?
I mean, then the thing is they don't have a
Also-
shackle cancel on the lane.
Yeah. Usually you'll do Rubik Brewmaster. Like you'll just if you want Rubik with the brew, then you'll move the entire lane to the
Yeah,
Shaman.
you will
lane.
have to. Yeah.
Could you run Silence? Because Silencer got nerfed at some point, and the laning for him is a lot less strong than it used to be. Could you put it mid, or is that just too crazy?
I think
Shadow Shaman mid. I love it.
Oh
but
no,
no, you're saying
Silencer
Silencer.
mid.
Silencer
Oh,
mid.
like a core hero sounds?
Yeah.
I think it was only ever done. It was like always to counter a certain hero you'd play
it
mid.
beats
Like
TA.
Okay.
or if there's like a
Em-
perfect last
Ember,
pick
I think.
support or
Yeah.
something.
Okay.
I
So
think no one was
very
one of those
situational.
players who used to do it mid against Embers and certain heroes.
It was most done in the CIS region overall. Yes.
And the hero got a lot of nerfs on the mana cost of spell, so I think as a
True.
mid he's way weaker than he used to be.
I
And,
feel
and
like-
it feels really weak against like a Magnus. Like imagine if like a Magnus PA, you jump a Silencer, he will just die.
Yeah.
Whether he's
Mhm.
core or support doesn't
Yep.
really matter.
You think it's gonna be PA potentially? I think
Well-
Monkey King or Jug stand out to me. I think PA could be pretty decent too.
Monkey King.
Monkey
I
sounds
like Monkey too. Yeah.
really good compared to those other options to me at least.
He's just the better hero in the
I mean,
meta,
Monkey
think.
King is just on the rise, honestly. Like,
And there's
everything's
two
picking
melee
him up.
heroes that are going to be cores on
Yep.
VP, so it should have a good lane matchup.
I mean, just inside that Wukong's command, you're not going to die to the TB Metamorph because of all the bonus
Yeah.
armor. Makes a big
And
difference.
you and I pick a lot of mid last picks.
But they go Mirana
Whoa!
now.
I did not expect that pick at all.
Well,
Which
That's
was a
really
mid,
weird.
A mid Mirana is kind of weak-ish.
I don't like
Hmm.
Mirana against Silencer or Terrorblade.
Yeah.
That's like they lack reach on VP. Like it's very hard to kill this Mirana, but
I would
I
have liked
don't-
to see Lina much more than Mirana.
that's a very odd pick.
Yeah. I mean, that opens up a lot of options for no one as well. There's like a TA, there's a Storm. Honestly, it's not hard to lane against Mirana. It is not
Yeah.
the strongest hero in mid, in my opinion. If they put him mid.
yeah, and I feel like no one already has the basically mechanical advantage over you are if it's going to be that 1v1 matchup, and now
Yeah.
you're going to give no one a hero advantage on top of that. That mid could go really bad.
Wow, they didn't ban Monkey King. I feel like that's the best pick by far.
They ban anti-mage.
Yeah.
Mm.
Huh.
Black
I
is
respect that.
Yeah.
But
Black's on the couch, guys. He's not in the
Ah.
game. Thank you.
they're lacking a lot of magic damage, though, on VP, I think.
I think they're going to get something like a Invoker because no one's been spamming that hero a lot.
I would like to see Invoker, Zeus, or Storm, one of the three.
I think Kunkka looks the best
Kanka.
for VP. I'm almost certain it'll get
If you
banned.
saw no one Storm, you might not be asking for that, right?
I mean, I saw the game 2 Storm, but I was against
Yeah.
a Brood. You know, it was rough.
That's true.
It was rough.
I feel like against Mirana, Kunkka is just super good.
Yeah. I mean, against any of these range heroes, they can't pressure you. You just deny everything.
It's guaranteed Mirana on the mid lane?
We're about to find out.
Okay, so they're not scared of it because of the Monkey King.
So,
okay.
so no.
So they can swap
no
Monkey Mirana based on what VP is sending mid.
Okay.
Okay, so Kunkka no longer looks good.
Zeus or Storm, please. They need magic damage for sure.
I think you should get the Storm though. They can send Monkey mid, and Storm has a very rough time there in that 1v1.
Fair enough, yeah. So just then the Zeus.
That's definitely the, I think, really strong bit about this Monkey Mirana duo is that they are flexible between the mid and safe lane.
Yeah, they can go pretty much wherever they want to.
Do you guys feel like VP has enough team fight in their lineup? Because obviously Brew is nice and Global's nice, but they can't. I don't know. I feel like forward, whenever you take a team fight, forward is going to be the one winning them.
I think they're lacking damage right now. I would just like to see Lina
Say
Zeus.
burst, yeah.
Yeah, Lina Zeus, one of the two.
Lina sounds great because it can lane versus Monkey or Mirana and come out on top.
Yeah, and they have nothing to really abuse the null field with yet, so it would just amplify the Rubik pick a bit more. Like they have 3 pretty good disablers and enablers, but they have no one to really finish anyone.
I don't see a better pick than Lena, but I love these type of moments because you get to basically enter the mind of no one here and find out what he sees in these.
I mean, this is basically his call more so than
What about a Tinker?
the drafter
Some no one Tinker.
Well, it will be a Pugna.
Oh, that's magic damage burst.
Okay.
They can lane against both those heroes. I mean, it's decrep for the RP. That's decent.
Fair enough.
The Pugna ward also makes a lot of their heroes awkward to fight with.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman. He hates the Pugna ward.
All of his spells are incredibly high mana cost. Huh.
This is, by the way, before you guys make a prediction, this is what Twitter thought. It's very even, the matchup. I haven't seen it this even yet, I think.
Yeah. North America's awake. It's middle of the night in Europe.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Are they actually awake?
I actually like the forward gaming lineup.
Quite late for him.
Yeah, it's like 10 or 11 p.m. maybe.
Okay.
But it's a weekend, you know?
Oh,
Europe,
good
like,
evening.
Yeah, Friday coming
early
home
morning.
from work.
It's like 7 or 8 a.m. in Europe, maybe.
They just came back from the bar.
I've lost track of like where I'm in the world in terms of time. Like I'm like, wait, is it 8 hours earlier or later?
Well, I hope that Forward and Virtus.pro know where they are and what they're playing for. And I need to hear from you guys who you think will take this first game. Brian, you said you like Forward's Gaming's draft.
I think VP's the better team, but I'm gonna go out on a limb here and channel my inner Kyle and call Forward Gaming.
I'm not sure if that's a good thing to do for predictions.
I'm going to go Forward Gaming as well. I think I agree with Ryan a lot. VP's a better team, but I think overall, like this Monkey King hero looks really good in that draft.
Well, you might listen to your heart, but I'm listening to my head. I think VP's going to win because I think they're a better team.
That's fair.
All right, we at least got a little bit of a split on the panel. I do like that. Let's find out what our commentary team thinks about this game number 1. It is Sayori and Trent.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Our second series of the day. We couldn't be more excited. I'm liking this Forward Gaming draft, Trent. They've got a lot of stuns, a lot of control. That's my recipe for success. What are you thinking, though?
I don't know. I was kind of looking towards that Pugna. I thought it looked pretty good. They went for it. I feel like they have a very good opportunity to just push forward and take a lot of control in this game between a Pugna, early Brewmaster ultimates.
A lot of early sieging with that Terrorblade, too.
At the same time, though, if you don't get off to a good start as Virtus.pro, there's going to be some cooldown issues between meta as well as the Brewmaster and the Global Silence. So I think there's less cooldown issues on the side of Forward Gaming. They just kind of like keep pushing forward. Maybe RP something to worry about, but you know, one little fight, one team might take an objective with the Snakes, the other with the Terrorblade. So
they've also got the double buff.
Look at Solo here, cutting through the trees, see if that's going to help him survive, but they're wrapping around. Oh my goodness.
They are hungry. Universe, not skilled anything yet, sidesteps the arrow. Not even going to need a skewer. Poor Solo will be the victim of the first blood.
Who just 5-man ganks right now? What?
Not many people. We were just commenting about how nice it is that we get this passive Brune spawn situation so we can analyze, we can talk to the panel, and, well, Forward Gaming, they come out swinging. They were laced up and ready to go, man. Will still be a 2 bounty spread, though, looks like. You know, not a big advantage that way. Any faith in the Forward Gaming double buff, though? They've got the Bloodlust with the Empower. This is going to be one pretty crazy Monkey King as well. Pretty scary Mirana in the mid-game with some extra damage, extra attack speed to boot.
Double buff strats. I like the Monkey King. I think there were bans on the Troll as well as the PL, so there's like a couple heroes where you're wondering if that's going to be enough with the Empower and exactly who's going to be the best one. So I think Monkey King's a nice option. We had a lot of Monkey King already today. You guys tuned in for the Virtus.pro matches with Alliance, so VP very much ready for this. And they're going to bring Solo into the mid lane here just to help out Ramses a little bit. Already a very high armor hero, so it tends to do okay versus the Monkey King. And this is going to draw the attention of Mojo, who now is coming here too.
Yep.
On the Shaman.
Level 1 Ether Shock, a little damage into Ramses. Proper dual lane here in the mid. Up top, that Ogre waddling his way in. So
Best hero, Dota
joining
2.
Yuar here. Best hero, Dota 2.
Dude, this Ogre, he's the guy.
The bold claims continue.
You want to pick a hero right now, it's Ogre. Ice Spark, please. Just be gentle. You know, he's a fun guy.
Is he?
Yeah, he's hanging out. But that can be okay, the balance strike.
And Universe, no one down
Oh
bottom.
no, the creep tanks the arrow up top. They would have killed Roger there, but Roger tips you are because he hit the creep. all right. Rough start. It's okay. Roger's just like solo laning here, basically. His Pasha's running around with creep waves, trying to bring this wave back. It's been very entertaining up here.
Yeah, no doubt. This bottom lane, though, can't help but feel a little bad for Universe. Not a fun matchup against the Pugna.
Yeah, melee versus Pugna is not great. However, unlike many offlaners, he at least has a ranged magic nuke, so it's not that bad, right? He can kind of deal with the decrep and stuff and still try and secure range creeps.
Yep, that's a good point. He's at least got a tool.
But you have to eat up a lot of damage for it.
Mid lane seems to be relatively even right now. Resolution still able to find some last hits despite getting harassed a lot early on. Of course, always gets easier once that Metamorphosis is down. But Rezo taking a lot of damage here. Does manage to get to Jingu Mastery, so that'll pick him back up a little bit.
Yeah, one thing about this TV is that you obviously very high armor, but your HP pool is quite low, only about 500 at the moment. And Shaman has one of the highest level 1 nukes at 140 damage. So they have to be a little bit wary about that.
That's almost Shadow Wave levels.
I tell you. It's something. Shadow Wave's physical, though, so that's not very good versus TV.
Not versus TV, but isn't Shadow Wave the highest damage level 1 spell?
I mean, that's a pretty theoretical one. You would need,
in the ideal scenario.
Well, of course it is, because you can just surround it with so many targets.
Well, yeah. That's Dazzle, baby. Level 1.
Stupid concept. Mid lane, they get the shackles off, helps get the easy Jingu, but he's thinking about burning that mango, won't be enough.
Yeah, not quite. Solo jumps in, though, gets off a curse, and that will repel the likes of Forward, at least for now, and keep Ramses alive.
Man, this is a bloody middle lane, just like constantly back and forth beating into each other. Yeah. Everyone's always low HP, very low resource in terms of the mana from the supports, too. They're both just trying to clarity up, keep that going.
Yep, and then both clarities will get knocked off here. Could this be the end of Solo? Not quite. There's a Metamorphosis back up, and could even go the other way. Resolution getting very low and finished off by... I can't believe that actually killed him.
Damage.
That must have been right on the cusp of hitting the threshold for a kill, but first blood secured. Now SVG pulled back indeed. Going to be hard-pressed to survive this one. Pasha hits him with a clap. No neutrals there for a potential deny. Gets off an Ignite before he goes down, but the big boy gets put 2 feet under.
Everyone in the game is just...
or 6 feet under, that's the saying. 2 feet's a pretty shallow grave.
That's a disrespectful burial right there.
Oh, Resolution going deep in the mid lane. Solo out of mana. MSS inbound, but they're not quite able to finish him off. The Boundless Strike went to Ramses instead. And now Roger going to TP in. I think Solo is actually going to be able to survive this one.
Well, they're drawing a lot of attention here, but the only problem is Pasha does have the creep wave under the tower, so who cares? Life's good up top. It's okay for Roger to move out, and they can't even punish that here despite having the Ogre.
A little bit awkward.
And the 2 big winners of all this are really just Pugna and Magnus.
Yeah.
Yes, Universe and no one are just chilling.
You're right, the Magnus is
back and forth.
He's doing a lot better than I originally thought. 21-0 compared to the 27-6 of the Pugna. We'll see Pasha up top get dove. Can SVG and Yuar actually find a kill here, though? Not quite. He's short on damage. No opportunity to really connect with a good arrow. And now they're in pretty far. Roger, he's going to rotate as well as Solo. And they're on the run. A couple leaps available, but there's the telekinesis, and Yuar is done for. SVG just trying to do as much damage as he can as he heads for the hills.
Yeah, they won't have any mana left, though, so Ogre should be able to get himself out of here.
Yeah.
As much as Solo wants some 6th stolen int here. But they have to keep bullying because the bounty rune's coming. SVG might sacrifice himself for this. He has a Fire Blast, so he can stun one of them and go for it.
Oh, arrow. It's going to connect on the same hero, though. Roger will be able to pick up the rune. However, it is going to cost Solo his life. SVG will survive. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, they did find that kill onto no one.
That's huge, and that's with a bottle now in Universe. He gets both bounty runes. That puts him right back in this lane after the kill.
Great rotation from MSS there to make that possible.
And that's one thing is that the Pugna definitely has kill potential on the Magnus. So you're going to be playing really aggressively, whereas Mag can't really kill the Pugna unless the rotation comes through. So they kind of abuse the fact that no one's playing aggressively trying to create a kill opportunity and turn it around back onto him. But now that is level 6 on the Pugna, so won't be quite as easy this time.
All right, up top, a rotation onto SVG. Yoar did just shoot an arrow that hit a creep. It looked like it was intentional to finish it off. Maybe back mid here. Ramses pops the meta. Resolution gets rotated on. He does have some help from MSS. Actually gets telekinesed up to the high
Yeah,
ground.
the angle wasn't quite right there, it looked like, from Roger.
It was a little bit awkward, and it's going to keep Resolution alive. Okay, maybe a small stroke of fortune there for the forward cores in the mid, or Singleton core.
And they're going to skid at the bottom rune there together, but it will be a regen top, and Ramses really needs it here. So he'll be very pleased for that to be found by Solo.
Great for the Terrorblade. Things still feeling pretty even, though.
Up top, Pasha, maybe an opportunity here for him to get this kill. Pasha has to play it close and try and turn some damage around because he knows if he just gets Fire Blast into an arrow, he's just dead.
Yep, leap forward. Actually not going to throw the arrow after the Fire Blast. This time misses in the tree line. Pasha pretty much out of options, though. Will still get taken down, but makes some work for it.
Like the very patient way, because if you try and throw that arrow and it hits the creep wave, then that kill's probably over. And instead, they just keep chasing after him and hold the arrow so that he can't go for like a TP or something after the Fire Blast.
Yep. Bottom lane, this poor Magnus Universe able to survive thanks to stick charges, but no one asserting his dominance here. Now that he's level 7, this is where the real burst begins.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because he's using the skewer every time. Oh, nice grab down the shockwave. But he's using the skewer every time he goes for the life drain because the cooldowns are relatively similar. He only has like a 3-second window in between. So he can keep himself alive versus no one as long as he stays up, but the lane's starting to turn into no one's favor.
Yep, some more damage being exchanged in the mid lane. A lot of rotations early on here. Both teams playing relatively aggressively, looking for those openings to punish.
Thing is, Solo is the one who gets the mid lane here as they've sent Ramses to the jungle.
Oh, MSS isn't going to let that stand for long. He's trying to come in and go for a shackle initiation. No point in Hex yet. Boundless Strike, Solo. Is he going to be able to live through this? Oh, MSS hoping for that Ether Shock, but not quite there. Instead going to settle for shackles onto the Terrorblade. Resolution just doesn't quite have the damage. Now Roger, as well as no one rotating in, they're going to finish off the Monkey King. MSS has no choice but to head back under the tower cover.
Yeah, some real greed on that one. Ramses does get 6, though, so he wants to sunder. He can, and SVG is coming through. Whoops.
Yeah, hoping to pick off Solo there, perhaps. Moonlight
or Ramses,
Shadow now.
For that matter. Thinking he wouldn't be 6 yet, probably.
There's going to be a TP scroll, and I think SVG should be fine.
There was a split up top, it looks like, too, with an attempt onto Yuar as they were trading blows. Looks like Pasha was a little bit low there, too.
No, SVG actually doesn't TP out. Instead, he goes back in, playing mobile ward right now.
Oh, the courier. Oh, I think it was too far to see him. It was close, but yeah, he wasn't quite in the vision range. But
okay. Stun that illusion, dog.
Stopping that farm.
I guess so.
That's what you do. Now just live.
Well, that's probably not going to be the golden ticket to stopping farm. The all-time backfire there for SVG. A little bit cute. He had a TP that
really
whole
weird.
time. He really could have just TP'd out. Plenty of opportunities, but decided to go for the aggressive play. Crapped out that time.
A misfire, perhaps.
Sure. Pugna looking towards an Aether Lens first item. Universe got the Blink Dagger queued up. Already has Bottle Arcane Boots. Really farming pretty well on this Magnus. Number 2 overall on his team, just barely behind that Mirana.
Yeah, and he also missed out on some like the benefits of Magnus. Like you pick these ranged supports to play in the lane with, like Wind Ranger, or in this case a Shao Shaman. You just buff up their damage, they harass a lot, but he got into this 1v1 instead. But that's just fine. I mean, this is one of the greedier offlaners, or at least someone who can abuse gold very well. Goes in very deep from no one, trying to put pressure on the tower.
Roger is inbound. That'll be the first telekinesis. Arrow does indeed connect. All clumped up. They'll hop forward with the RP. And that's 2 down for Virtus.pro. Nice setup there for Forward Gaming.
Yeah, that's a great first RP too. But if I'm a Forward Gaming fan out there, if there's one hero to me that makes me feel good about watching Forward, it's Mirana. And I think it's really telling the fact that they already had the Magnus, and you're seeing these like good Magnus pairing heroes getting banned out, and with their 9th pick, or rather, I guess it would have been the 8th pick in the draft, but they take the Mirana instead of the Mag hero, right? Yeah. Like, they weren't super set on this having to be a Monkey King, but it really shows the importance they put on this Mirana because it's such a well-known hero for Yawar that it was probably going to get banned by VP. Like,
Absolutely.
if I'm going to pick one hero for this guy, it's 100% Mirana every single time. So I like the fact that they're able to recognize that, put it on Yawar, and Rezo has enough versatility that he can just opt for a variety of heroes where there would have been that AM that was banned, or perhaps this Monkey King. So,
speaking of Rezo, though, the pressure has been real in this lane. His net worth is not great, only 42 last hits right now, and in terms of overall farm, he's pretty much bottom of the cores right now.
Yeah, but because of that, Yawar is top of it.
That's true. Definitely an opportunity cost there. And his team is doing a good job soaking up farm elsewhere around the map. This Monkey King is fragile, is the word that comes to mind. You know, he's one of those, plays amazingly from ahead, as we saw in Game 3 of that last series from VP, but equally disappointing the other way if he starts off behind.
Or Game 2 in Alliance, where he got really far ahead and then fed a couple times, still found the win in the end. But it was like, you can just blow up instantaneously almost.
Yeah, look at this, dude. Big Ancient stack here. MSS going to go ahead and commit the wards. Very smart play here.
Who gets to share in the experience? Rezo, it looks like.
Yeah. The one that needs it.
Don't give him the gold. Oh, it's a hard life as a support, guys.
I think MSS is kind of happy just be getting experience out of this whole thing. No, it's his level 7 here.
He's trying to give his Monkey King a little bit of that, too. Yep. Actually, he ends up getting most of them, so excellent. So, good play, though. If you don't feel like you can actually get aggressive and make use of the snakes, like, they'd probably just rotate over the TB and kill them anyway. The downside is that that pressure was also being put in on the bottom lane from no one. So they take that tier 1 with the Pugna. It's 11 minutes in, so it's not that big of a deal to lose your tower to a Pugna. It's kind of expected, especially because he's just been in that lane the whole time, right? Yeah. And your mid lane is at least still full HP. But the question is, will no one now rotate there and apply that pressure? And you're going to need the Blink Dagger on Universe. However, he's very farmed, so this Blink Dagger should be there in time for that big mid fight.
Yep, only 400 gold to go, as Magnus also hits level 10. Rezo going to bump right into Pasha here. This Brewmaster level 8 does have a split available. Silencer also nearby, but Rezo just a bit too elusive, able to spring away. Dancing all over those trees. A lot of pressure coming mid, though. VP rotating almost their entire team. Terribly, the only one not here. MSS gets popped immediately.
I mean, this is what Pugna does. This is exactly what we just said, where they're going to do this. And I thought they'd have the blink, but they didn't know where Virtus.pro were. They thought they were all playing up top with the TB. So Universe went all the way back to his tier 2, and they had MSS just like farming the wave. But in reality, Universe, if they maybe had some more vision or something, he could have just been farming this wave, had the Blink Dagger, and been prepared for something like that mid. So at this point, the tower looks to be too low. And look how aggressively they're playing. Patch is in between the towers. It's coming out now from the Pugna, so that tower is done.
He's even got a double damage rune, so really no
saving that. He misses the arrow down bottom, now gets grabbed up here. Stolen arrow with Roger.
Might still be able to find the kill, though. Yawar leaping all over the place. Some stick charges from Roger. Needs one more. Yawar doubles back. Can't quite get it. But now Bloodlusted up. He's got the movement speed. Roger finds himself a little cranny that he can't get out of. Meanwhile, mid, no one able to finish off Rezo. Huge RP from Universe on 3, but is there going to be any follow-up? Global comes down after the wards are deployed, and they've got no way to lock him in place. Mirana TPing into the shrine, though. There's your brew split. He's going to go ahead and focus down solo if possible, but no one on the low ground. This could be disastrous for Forward Gaming. Arrow off the mark. Solo, they know where he is, but he's safe for now. MSS is going to end up bringing him down, maybe? It's going to be the Shockwave instead. So ends okay for Forward, but they only get the Silencer.
Yeah, it's like this sick 3-man RP, get really hyped up, and then it's like, oh, but there's no follow-up, because they already killed our Monkey King.
I did get really hyped up. Right?
I did too. I was like, oh, here it comes, baby. They drop the Snake's Global Silence. Like, oh, snap. Able to just run away. Bottom lane now onto Roger. Once again, he just respawned, and he's a little sheep.
Yeah, poor Raj. That's going to be an easy kill.
Meanwhile, Yawar, he grabs Pasha, too.
Missed the setup on that one. Must have clipped an arrow.
I mean, look at his vision in the area.
Great ward there.
Yeah, he's got one on the high ground, one on the low ground. Like,
still, that's a huge kill for this Mirana. All the while, though, you got to mention Ramsey's up top. He was doing some split push, able to take down that tier 1.
Oh, he came in for the sentry.
Oh, Solo. He's going to end up feeding his life away here. Yawar. Great read from Solo to know that the ward was there. Kind of the only way that Yawar could have set that up, but he will have to pay with his life and attempt to deward that. So Rezo also getting this tier 1 down bottom, kind of equalizing that pressure that Ramses was putting on up top.
They needed those couple kills from UR though, just because like they'd lost a lot with Roger like taking so much time in the bottom, and then they lose Rezo mid, who's already struggling. Now Ramses gets fire blasted, but not gonna be the follow-up. They have the blink skewer, but there's no RP. There's Sunder turnaround, so not worth without UR closer in proximity. UR, speaking of which, will start pushing into the mid tower while Pasha takes that bot down with the deny.
End up denying it. Rezo didn't quite have the damage to finish it off as they glyphed it. And Rezo also going for the Echo Saber, Monkey King. Again with the Magnus, absolutely no temptation for that Battle Fury, but continuing to itemize for early game aggression.
They used the scan here just to check if there's some heroes in behind. It did activate, but UR still comes back with the Bloodlust, and he'll get the last hit. No deny possible there.
Very nice, big tower kill. Against the Pugna, got to open up that map a little bit. Relatively even tower count, only one advantage for VP right now.
Yeah, no one been very quiet since he took that mid tower. Just been farming up a little bit here, trying to get into Yules. And there's another RP.
Will connect onto just the solo Brewmaster, but they've got the follow-up Hex into Shackles. That means no Primal Split for you, Pasha.
And that's one thing that Shaman is just better at than any other hero, right? Like, constant chain stun. You really can't match this guy from the supporting cast. Yes. Hex and then Shackle, like, so early on in the game. Especially the fact that you don't even have to invest all your points in it, right? Like, it's not like you're maxing out those skills. You still get to max Ether Shock, and you still have so much control and lockdown for 5.5 seconds.
Yeah.
But you just need setup.
Lion can do it a little bit, but Rasta definitely sets
Lion
the bar a
is
bit
equal.
higher.
Yeah.
Rasta has longer.
It's a little more.
Yeah. He can, in theory, control you for a longer period, but yeah. Those are the two, though. Those are your two guys.
Yeah, big guys. You know, you're a sport hero, you don't want to end up losing your game to some last pick Storm Spirit. You get Lion or Shaman.
I like this item trajectory here for Universe. He's going to go right into Guardian Greaves. Obviously, an amazing choice against the Silencer.
He's just almost running this 4-man smoke. The Ogre. Oh no, UR is going to pay for it. The fact that they didn't bump into each other.
Oh, there we go. The Global Silence deployed as well. Gets that first leap off, but he might survive through the duration of the silence. It's close, but there was a last word there for an additional silence afterwards. No one finishing off that streak.
That's a lot of gold. And he just got his Yules, right? Or yeah, it's on the way. Wow, he's 900 gold after finishing the Yules. Holy.
Now further initiation. The Ogre obliterated by the Pugna.
And you get a level 4 Fire Blast on Roger, too, which is going to rotate down bottom with and find MSS. We could be thinking about a TP, but there
we go. The game sense.
Yeah.
It's tingling, and MSS will live. The mech is just about out for Universe as well. Still farming pretty incredibly this game for the offlaner.
Happens when you get a 1v1. It's always quite nice, of course.
One of the big disparities, though, when you look at the farm breakdown, Magnus is very far ahead of this Brewmaster.
18-minute mark, though. They come back, they converge, give me a fresh Empower my Monkey King. The Monkey King goes back and grabs the Ancients. Actually, they did not take out the fresh Empower.
Ooh, initiation onto the Rubik. Roger going to be caught in his own jungle. Does get off at Dust after the Moonlight Shadow's been used. They don't have eyes on the rest of the Radiant team. They weren't really rotating over, but Forward will not commit for it. They'll actually smoke up themselves and look for an opportunity to go deeper. Maybe looking for the rotation onto Pasha. Universe,
when this
you are
kicks
back
off, though, no one
into
can
the
just,
Hex.
Yeah, he can just go for that tier 2 top, though. He sees all these heroes here, and Yara has a creep wave.
They're going to head right to the top, though. If they catch no one here, this could be huge.
He's getting a little greedy. That was a bit of a greedy one. No, surely not again. He's going to run this time.
There we go. So Universe still has RP and an Arcane Rune, so you're playing with fire against that one.
I feel like the number of taunts has been severely lacking this tournament. I really miss the Pugna spam. I think it's one of the funnier ones. Lion as well. We even had Lion game and yet no spams.
That's true. There's been a lot of talk about respect this tournament, though, Trent.
Yeah, that must be what it is.
So I think the taunts are somewhere on that spectrum, and well, right now everyone's playing it safe. Playing it safe. You know, I think this is a moment where we all need to play it safe.
Got to relax. Got to chill a little bit here.
Take a deep breath, everybody. Manta Style, though, up on the Terrorblade. Some more illusions. And now a smoke from VP inside their jungle, ready to hunt. What will they find, young Trent?
Last time they found UR and slowed him down quite a bit. That put no one, as well as Ramses, up ahead of him. Oh, there we go. There's a taunt. Thank you, no one. I love that noise. It's so good. It's a little xylophone.
That was a little suspicious.
He's
that was
playing
like
the
too
bones.
quick after you called for it there, Trent. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. Oh, he stole Tree Dance. That's actually pretty nice.
Yeah, that's a really good skill. It's like only second best, like a Blink or something on Rubik, honestly. You just want these high mobility skills to let you actually use telekinesis and just start off perfect fights. Yule's up.
They find the Magnus.
I don't think there's enough follow. Okay,
And
that'll work.
They've got it. And they'll deploy the global, and he has no friends nearby. If he had the Guardian Greaves there, maybe there's a chance. But
Yeah, he definitely would have lived the Greaves.
still 1,000 off, which is still pretty impressive, honestly.
Yeah.
Now you got me saying honestly, dude. Come on.
Fine, be that way. The side of forward game, they were rotating to the top, didn't find anyone, so a little disappointing, I'm sure. It's like that's kind of like the third time in a row it feels like where they both try and make these map moves at the same time, but VP are the ones who catch someone out. And instead, I guess forward caught out Pasha in the mid lane, but then they end up just getting more pressure on that tier 2 top. But
Their ability to siege is just unbelievable right now. They destroyed that tier 2, and they just got a free tier 3 before forward could even really react. But they are rotating. Hex comes out onto the Terrorblade. Roger in the backline might be the one that gets initiated on. They pop the dust, and it does not connect on the Monkey King. They'll burn another one. It's SVG that goes down first. Resolution with the Wukong's command. It's pretty well placed. Out comes the Yules. Solo goes down without Global. This is scary. Buyback from the Silencer now. They've lost 2, and it could be more. Roost Split has come out, and it looks like he'll be able to survive.
that
I think that
team?
Earth Panda's still pretty deep. There's the Hex,
wow,
and he's
insane.
actually going to get left
give
behind.
him a ward trap.
Not much you can do once those wards come out, that's for sure. Pretty big fight for forward. They still lost their tier 3 and the ranged barracks for that, though, Trent. Not really a hold.
No, and that was all just from a single pick off onto a Magnus, and just maybe a lack of respect onto the TB, but and the Pugna, just like how quickly they can siege.
Yeah. Seeing that makes me a little nervous for forward as this game progresses. A lot of pressure on them to take fights outside of the base and be very wary of those pickoffs.
It's kind of like a little bit of a desperation move here, too, to have to move into this roach pit like this.
But it is pretty well timed. They know Global's down. They know this Brewmaster's dead without split, so it seems they will be able to get away with it.
It's interesting, this whole game, too, Dota Plus has been favoring the side of forward. Like, the whole way through. It was even peaking as close to, like, 75%.
Really?
And it's still 62% for them, despite losing the melee rack, or range racks.
Now, Roger in a little bit too far. He threw a shockwave, but not going to be able to get out of that one. It's another death for Raj. And an Aegis to the Immortal picked up for the Monkey King.
I think part of the reason why this game still looks a little difficult for Virtus.pro is that when this map opens up a little bit more and like there's high mobility on the Magnus and the Monkey King, I kind of feel like the wave pressure is going to be going in the favor of forward, and it might be harder for Virtus.pro to make these same movements where they're like their smokes have gone exceptionally well. I think better than you would usually hope. And that's what helped crack open that tier 2 and tier 3 just so quickly, like finding these really good pickoffs like onto the Magnus. That was a really tough reach, and that's a good example as to why Silencer is such a good hero, because there's pretty much no other hero that would have let you get that kill, right?
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, a bit of a Silencer hater, but all they did was Yule's the guy with a Pugna, and it's like a guaranteed kill because they can all waddle over, global him, and still have even more time to get there and help secure the kill from the Rubik. As well as, I mean, credit to Roger for stealing the Tree Dance. That's also the only reason they got that kill.
That's true. That's actually a good shout out.
Oh, look at this. They're all walking under a ward here from the Radiant, snuck up on that high ground. Even though there's a sentry in the range, they're all spotted doing that Moonlight Shadow, and they're gonna smoke into them.
Whoa, they lose Roger, though, right away.
So ready for that global.
There's the split. They've killed MSS. SVG does not have a TP. He's been dusted, and he's also going to get left behind.
I mean, it makes sense why Roger goes down, because he thinks that they're probably all going to be bottom, whereas it's like 2 heroes ganging up on him, and they're also smoking into the Radiant territory, missing the Magnus and the RP, or Magnus and the RPs, Magnus and the Monkey King.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. That's a little questionable. It seems like a bit of a wild play to me.
Very peculiar. I don't know what to make of it either. But the Guardians are up on Magnus now with a Shadow Blade queued up next. I think that really is a key item here, as well as the BKB on Mirana. Did already see that 10-second charge, but got to get some tools to deal with this silence. Also, still Aegis up on the MK from his 10-second BKB, ready to be debuted. While we're doing an item update here, MSS is so farmed, Trent. He's got a Blink Dagger and an Aether Lens right now.
Yeah, they lost a little bit on Rezo to start the game, but we even saw with those Ancients that some of that gold was going on to him instead for MSS, so this hero is just really nice, that 20 XP gain too. And they will smoke up again. This time the ward is dead, but they were seen in that area. As Roger gets initially on by Boundless Strike, but then he doesn't follow up. That could make VP think that there's no one else in the area, but they still pull back
opposite.
defensively.
Yeah, they're going to play very, very tight-knit here. Are they looking for a smoke of their own, perhaps? They do have one on Solo. Oh, forward on the high ground, though.
Can Universe find it? He does.
There's the RP. They're going to go right for this Terrorblade. Can they bring him down before the Sunder? A multi-cast ×2. The Wukong's command and the ward's been deployed.
The
He
decrep.
still Sunders, though. Roger goes down, and now they're going to be able to finish off this Terrorblade. At least I think. He will fall, but it takes down MSS also. It's an okay fight for forward. Monkey King coming back. Compliments of the Aegis.
Jeez, they almost found that turnaround. Like, the decrep from Noah was so perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Got a little bit worrisome.
Really did. Still favoring forward, obviously, since it was a 1 for 2. Not losing the Aegis, and now they are going to be able to grab a Tier 2 tower off that momentum. No global or split used there, though.
So I think this comes back to that whole idea of like the wave pressure, though, right? Because before that fight started and before they smoked out like that, there were illusions from a TB cutting the mid wave. Like that's not a good sign when you're like up a racks. Like that's the way they feel they have to play this, and yeah, just a great start to that fight. Despite the way the last one went, where they just smoked in and this global happens, they lose a hero. At least this time they're fighting into an area where they know there's no global. Like if there's global there, you can't make that play, right? They probably don't have enough damage to finish off the TB.
Still a lot of cooldowns available here for Virtus.pro. They also have a Metamorphosis, so they might take this opportunity to try to push high ground, knowing that there's no RP, no wards.
They're running
got about
in
40
here.
seconds.
Like there's full waves. There's a catapult bottom, and they should know this time from forward. But likewise, they're trying to abuse cooldowns, just like they were just abused here. They have the global.
Yeah.
Like
they've got everything.
I like that Ramses didn't pop meta before he died too, even though it kind of looked like there's a turnaround opportunity.
It might be worth it here. We'll see. Universe, he tries to skewer, but Global comes out. There's the Brew split. They will put a lot of damage into Roger. He's going to be the first casualty of this fight. Now VP, they call the retreat. They're in trouble. This Brewmaster taking a lot of damage, and he's probably going to get brought down.
Ramses tries to turn, he gets stunned.
Oh no, Ramses gets destroyed. Brewmaster, did he make it out? Looks like he did.
Oh,
okay.
they got some mad chase down heroes here too.
Solo moving into the trees. I don't think they saw him move that way. Maybe SVG, suspicious.
SV gone.
TP out. Solo, he's going to make it.
Guesses the two wrong ways first. They will find the RP on the no one, though.
Huge fight for forward. A brilliant defense, and they did that without their cooldowns available. Still have Wukong's command and roster wards at the ready.
It felt like a bit of a desperation maneuver from Virtus.pro, but I liked the idea. It made sense. They were trying to fight when there was, like, no RP was ready at that time. Obviously, it just came back up and they killed no one with it, but that did look good for VP, but things just went awry. There was a blink in from Universe. He tried to skewer. He missed, and somehow Roger wound up ahead of it. He, like, blinked into the skewer and got caught and died right away. So he couldn't abuse anything during the global.
It was definitely an odd sequence, but now Barracks will fall the other way. Forward equalize. Tier 2s standing in both other lanes, so not going to be able to get more than that. They will just back up. Still have a Wukong's command if they want to try to take a fight. See what VP does here in response.
A lot of this game now looking towards that next Roche 2 minutes away. Could swing this momentum either way. I really like what MSS has done. He's thinking about going for a BKB next on this Shadow Shaman. Just like that's going to be his choice for an item.
Is this a core Shadow Shaman or a support Shadow Shaman? Because I'm not sure.
Gets quite a bit of space in this hero. I mean, this has kind of become one of his signatures.
Nice skewer onto Pasha. That's going to be right into a Hex, and it should be a pretty easy kill. Very nice catch by Universe, and that will lead to this Tier 2 tower. Forward are just taking control here, Trent. 14-24, nearing that 30-minute mark. They've got a 13,000 net worth lead.
Reza going for the Boundless Strike crit damage as well. Ooh. It's a big old talent there at 20 with a Bloodlust and Empower. This guy is all about the right clicks.
Do we see Primal Spring more often?
We had it earlier, I think, in all of our games, I want to say. Or maybe one that we didn't even make 20.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
We had it before, but
okay.
Seen both. There's arguments for both sides.
Definitely situational.
Yeah.
Ogres also picked up an urn. It's pretty nice.
You know, where I was going to find a courier. They were actually trying to hide it to make sure it wouldn't get caught. Or maybe they're trying to scout you are.
Yeah, that Eon Disc recipe picked up. Whose is that? Can't see when it's in the backpack of the courier. Oh, no one. There it is.
Yeah.
Thought it might be the Brewmaster going for it, but alas, he's got an Assault Kuros queued up instead.
Definitely the right choice, too, because this Pugna is like, He's one of the prime targets for MSS, because if he can get in the back line, I mean, if they can't instantly hex the Terrorblade, like, one would think that the Terrorblade's going to get Boundless Striked or something, and then no one's going to be looking in the back line to try and give him the defensive decrep, but he's going to be trying to blink through it from MSS to hex up and control the Pugna during his BKB. However, if no one has an Aeon Disc, that's going to help break that up, and he can go back to trying to save his TV.
Yep. Bounty Rune snagged by Ramses there.
SVG's in here pretty deep with Yuar.
Yeah.
They find Pasha, they find Solo.
They're going to go for Solo instead. That's an easy pick. Now Pasha gets off the
He has
split.
buyback global. Is it worth?
I'm not sure. BKB popped now. The RP's already come out. There's the Eon Disc for no one. The global as well. VP feels like they've got an opportunity to turn this. Yules and Cyclones coming out. There's that Boundless Strike, though. Wukong's command and wards. It feels like VP are starting to run low on resources. This Terrorblade getting low, but he does get the Sunder onto the Monkey King. Will Resolution survive through this? He will not. Finished off by no one, and it's going to be Virtus.pro that take this fight. They've killed 3. Can they clean up more? They cannot. TP home from Universe. Noir will also make it back. What? I guess the Sunder was one of the big...
it was huge. The Sunder was massive,
changes.
dude. The Sunder and the decrep.
Wow. I just thought they had that. I
think
that was completely forwards fight.
If I'm not mistaken, I think MSS hexed the Rubik and then he shackled the TB, so there wasn't quite as much continuous control on top of the Terrorblade, and then they obviously weren't able to get the damage through in time. But yeah, let's find out here. So the way this starts off, it seems good. The only problem with Silencer is, and one of the great reasons for picking him, is this whole buyback idea.
Yep. You want to watch the replay? I'll keep tabs on the real game
here. Okay, that sounds good. As yeah, and then the RP gets completely ruined, right? Because of blinking from Roger. He stops any fall from that, and that's when the buyback global. And then this whole fight just goes awry completely for the side of Forward Gaming.
Back in the real game here, they are pressing forward, trying to finish off this melee barracks. Monkey King still in the grave for 20 seconds. I think they're going to be able to do this with the Pugna slow siege. There's the glyph from Forward, just trying to buy time for that Monkey King. Obviously no RP, still 40 seconds on wards.
Yeah, that should go down here.
It's a pretty difficult hold. SVG trying to get his body in the way. And he will go down. Unfortunately, will not be able to save the barracks. Now SVG buys back. Forward want to try to get something out of this. The Magnus blinks forward.
Split in 7 seconds.
They catch Pasha. Arrow does connect onto the Pugna. They'll be able to find the cleanup there. Pasha has split in 1 second. Blink as well, and he makes it to the high ground. He'll TP out. He lives.
Wow. Great call there. Not going for the split instead and like trying to fight or something. His teammates are out of there.
Well, a kill on Pugna is definitely something.
It's back and forth. Just waving here.
Yeah. Now they'll catch Roger. No follow-up for him. Easy arrow into the shackles. And Roche's respawn. So absolutely worth that buyback for SVG. And now we're going to see the same thing from Virtus.pro. They want to contest this Roche.
They've got it all. But likewise, I mean, so did the Dire. They're just missing.
They just dropped wards.
They've got yeah, they got it
so
all.
Yeah, that's the only one that's on cooldown now that they've been deployed. I don't know that VP will get here to contest this. Okay, Forward are backing out of the pit, being a little bit cautious. Now the Wukong's command
get him,
used
Pasha.
as kind of a zoning tool right now.
Pasha's got to go in if they're going to fight this.
It's getting low. Roshan at a sliver of HP. It goes down to the Dire. The global maybe comes out just a little bit too late.
Oh,
Pasha dies first. Could there still be an RP? No, it's been used already. They brought down Ramses. It's a disastrous fight here for Virtus.pro as Roger can't make it out either. They do lose MSS, but Resolution jumps in onto no one. He still has the BKB and the Aegis. No one and Solo split paths. BKB used by the Monkey King.
And they're still just hunting. And this is one of the big problems with the Pugna, and like one of the worrisome parts about the hero is that if there's a lot of chase on the enemy team, then you always have to be ahead in the game or the hero just looks real bad.
Yeah.
It's like it's going to be a really hard time. But
now that's 90 seconds in the grave for the Pugna. He just bought back, ends up being a dieback for him. Some pretty serious economic damage done. Now a 17K net worth lead for Forward.
And they've got the wave coming with Universe here, so they can try and focus down this top set of buildings, see if they can force a buyback on the Terrorblade, perhaps. Split not for another minute. That means Pasha basically does nothing.
Still a tier 2 in that bottom lane, so they won't be able to get megas off this, at least not very easily. There's the glyph trying to defend that tier 3 tower.
There's a nothing.
Buyback available on Terrorblade, but without the Metamorphosis, it just feels like a waste.
Everything's down for a minute. They gotta sit back and give this up. Absolutely no hope. They recognize they have a tier 2 bot, and they say, all right, that's what we're playing for. Like, we are just playing completely at this point for a tier 4 save and keeping our throne up, but it is looking extremely difficult.
Yep. A very big uphill battle now. 20K net worth is the favor. Forward Gaming, one set of barracks away from securing Mega Creeps, and they still have an Aegis on resolution, so there's really no reason to stop this train. Magnus ulti also going to be up in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, they're just camping some bounty runes at this point. Universe sitting on top. He has that stolen gem from Pasha. Pasha, when he blinked into that Roche fight too, it's funny because it's one of those heroes that you think is kind of good about controlling the Roche pit. When you go for a steal like that, he's the panda, so he can't even grab the Aegis. He can't grab the cheese. He's just standing there, and he just drops a gem to them. And you're like, oh, geez, that was pretty much the worst possible thing that could have happened.
Well, Butterfly now on Terrorblade. Is this going to be enough of a difference maker here, Trent? There is no MKB on the Monkey King or Mirana.
It's not.
No faith.
No faith.
All right.
Zero.
You're telling me you're calling this one? Is that the?
I don't know. Valve called it like a 92% a while ago. The old Dota Plus. Then it shot right back down to like a 75% chance. I don't know. This looks really difficult. One set of racks. That tier 2's gone. Pushing on in. It feels like one of those games where you're just playing Shao Sham and you're like, all right, guys, just get me there. Just get me to my spot. I'll throw down the snakes.
It really does.
Game is good, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. It's really scary to be up against the ropes like that when you have not only just a roster, but one that's this farmed. I mean, he's only 3K net worth behind the Pugna right now. That's actually absurd. It's really transitioning into what you would expect from a quote core Shadow Shaman.
Rezo just hops in on the 2 heroes down bottom.
Yep, forces out the global, and now with the BKB, it's not even going to do anything. That's just a straight up global for BKB. Remember, he still has the Aegis RP on 3 from Universe. But where's the follow-up? They can't get there in time. They will be able to bring down the Silencer. No buyback. Ramsey's looking for
the Sunder on the Lincolns.
Oh, no. That's going to be the end of them. And GG is called. Forward Gaming take game 1 in this series.
Definitely looking like the better team in this game, I have to say. Signs kind of looked okay for Virtus.pro, but right away, even once they got that racks, kind of recognized like, uh-oh. This doesn't look that good, because the second they took the ranged racks, they still got pushed back to their side of the river.
Yeah.
Forward came out and got the Aegis too, which was a really big deal, because it stopped that momentum they were building on the side of Virtus.pro. But right after taking a ranged racks, you have Terrorblade Illusions cutting the mid, and you're like, why are they cutting mid? Like, why aren't these waves going their way? And then you start to look at the heroes and you're like, okay, it's because Monkey King is just jumping around on the trees. He's cutting waves. He's constantly pushing in this way. You have Universe playing the bottom side of the map the whole time. He's shoving in bot. And then even Yuari's kind of like dancing around between mid and the jungle, so it's really hard for Virtus.pro to actually keep any of that map control going, other than the bulldoze down push.
Absolutely. And Universe 5-1-20 that game on the Magnus. Nice. A near perfect performance, some huge RPs, really set it up for his team. But curious to hear what the panel thought about that epic game 1.
Forward Gaming coming in strong indeed in the first game of the upper bracket finals of Group D. They take out, well, for this one game anyway, the, I wanted to say favorites coming in. And yeah, I'm going to say the favorites coming in. There you go. Here with Black and Gods and BSJ. BSJ, you never doubted Forward for a second.
Yeah, generally, when I'm looking at the draft, I felt like the Monkey King pick, we were talking about it like 3 picks before it even happened. It just seemed really powerful. And then every time we've seen these last picks where we're like, you know, it's a Pugna. Like, it gives them the burst we were talking about, but none of us felt convinced. So whenever that happens, it's not like we said VP is the better team, but it doesn't feel like they're eons ahead of Forward Gaming or anything like that. So I think this is a clear outdraft. I think the way that Forward Gaming likes to play is like these heroes that buff their cores with like the Drows and Ogres, and it just fits their playstyle really well. And then I do think Monkey King will be the premier hero of this tournament, like that we haven't seen previously.
Why Pugna though?
Yeah.
Like they already had push.
VP,
They already had push and Terrorblade. What they needed was damage and a potential pick of map control, like threatening heroes.
I think they see it as a Monkey King counter. That would be my guess. They're like, okay, Monkey King's the hero they're going to be empowering, literally, with Empower as well as with Bloodlust. We need to counter this hero. Pugna Decrep is going to be the solution.
And
more
it
so
works
than like
sometimes.
a Lina.
We saw it work in some of the Monkey King ults,
but the thing is, they don't even look to fight on Forward Gaming. They just want to split push all the time, and they have nothing to really catch. Like, what hero of their lineup can actually catch them?
That's where I think, I'm on board with Lina being the right pick, but I'm just trying to, you know, rationalize from VP's perspective, because obviously they're in the drafting booth. They're considering Lina. I'm sure that was a hero that was suggested, and they decide Pugna was better.
The big issue with the Pugna, I feel like, is once they picked Monkey King, there's actually no way to kill him on trees. Like, when he's on a tree, usually there's a lot of heroes in the game that can randomly break
This is
trees.
when the Pugna worked, but he literally only has to cast Decrepify. Doesn't matter how much gold he has in his inventory. In the end of the day, he's a Decrepify and a potion. He doesn't actually do too much with the gold he gets.
And that's like your last pick, though, right? I feel like your last pick wants to be the powerful, like, win condition, not like the counter pick kind of thing.
Yeah. I also feel like it's not really a hero that suits no one. Like, I don't really consider him a Pugna play. It's not an easy hero to play necessarily either if you're not that comfortable in it. But
I mean, he can play it, but he's not like...
yeah, he's a great player.
It's not one of his main heroes, you know?
Absolutely.
Not active enough,
Yeah.
maybe.
I also disagree highly with the item build of Ramses. He didn't go BKB at all. He just got hexed every fight, shackled every fight. He actually didn't do much at
Their
all.
setup for arrows was like nuts. There were a lot of long duration arrows because they had the shackle, the ogre stun, even the Monkey King Boundless Strike's decent. Like a lot of these Maranas I feel like have lacked setup and have been underwhelming, but this game Marana felt really strong.
Yeah, but BKB against Lambert, this is a necessity, I think. You can't, there's no way around it. And he delayed it, like even after Skadi, he wanted to go Butterfly, and I just think it doesn't work. If you want to win team fights, you need to be actually able to hit people. And that on top with like probably having the weaker draft as well, just was too much.
It was great to see forward play, just great overall Dota. I mean,
Yeah. Universe, man, that guy's a beast.
Yeah.
He really is.
The universe for snaking question maybe being someone answered here, at least in this first game. But yeah, as Sheever said, VP were favorites coming in. Definitely the case. But Forward is a team that got top 8 at TI and only changed one player. So the difference in skill between these teams is very small.
Yeah, I think VP will have to polish the draft a bit for the next game. Because they had the opportunity to, but was a bit lackluster in the end.
Yeah, the draft, the atomization. I think a different last pick and then a BKB on Ramses, and it's a very different game. They have ways to get rid of Empower Bloodlust through the Brewmaster to spell. Like the Brewmaster was a great pick to me, but they just never looked really threatening in a team fight.
They were able to push high ground at some points. I mean, the gold graph also showed it looked fairly even for a large portion of the game. And I go to the toilet and come back, 13k gold in favor of Forward.
But I think it's also a huge problem. Like I feel like they felt very pressured because Forward was just cutting creep waves left and right, that they actually have to bulldoze down mid lane. They just ran uphill with 5 heroes, and they immediately got taken out. Like 2 or 3 heroes died instantly, and that's when the game like swung around.
The amount of jumping to like initiate fights from Forward is nuts. Like they had the Blink Shaman, the Blink Magnus, like even just Ogre walking up and stunning you is like immensely threatening with the lineup they have.
Yeah. I mean, just look at the heroes. They have 5 heroes with stuns.
Yeah.
And like the Radiant team has what? 1 stun, 1 lift. That's it.
That's the story of this morning so far.
Yeah.
Heroes with stuns win
games. Stuns are good. You can't move. Can't hit.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That's just science right there, man.
You can't play Dota if you're stunned.
You can't. There was a lot of push. We did see Rex being taken on set of Forward, but it wasn't really that threatening. It was never going to be a game, and yeah, this was just game 1 though.
The Magnus against the Terrorblade, though, I really like that because as we were discussing in the draft, it felt like there were a lot of good carry heroes. It felt like they had a lot of good options. And I even briefly talked to Howie, and he said it felt like we had a lot of options, and that's why we waited to pick our carry hero last because we just had so many choices. And I feel like that's something you don't have without the Mag.
Yeah, it was a strong opening from Forward Gaming. We'll see if they can get that in the second game as well. Second game is right around the corner. We'll be right back with a more Dota 2. upper bracket finals, Group D, Virtus.pro, Forward Gaming. It's all happening right here for the Kuala Lumpur Major, and Forward Gaming is 1 game up against Virtus.pro, and we're here to talk about what's going to happen in Game 2. We're here to preview the match. We've got Black, we've got Gods, we've got BSJ. Black, going to start with you this time because we're going to have some changes coming out, hopefully anyway, in the case of Virtus.pro. Which changes are you expected to see?
He really, can have game impact with. Like, Pugna is like a Pugna. You blast towers, you decrepify heroes. That's pretty much all you do. You can't really play exceptionally well.
It's like a hero and Pasha on. If Pugna fits your draft and Pasha on, you feel maybe good. But when you see no one, it's like...
Yeah, no one is more like the TA, Lina, Zeus, just damage, damage, damage. He likes to deal damage. He likes to be in a good position to deal damage. And Pugna can't really do that.
Pugna can do
I mean, he can, but he's not nearly as destructive as someone of the other heroes. It's more like a pushing kind of supportive hero.
So it was all draft. We're just coming to that conclusion.
I just feel like NA as a region plays very greedy. Like, they like to farm around the map, split up the map, play 3 cores, 1 in each lane whenever possible. And their only playmakers are Rubik. Like, they have Brewmaster, Pugna, Terrorblade. Like, none of those heroes... Like, Pugna does damage, but he doesn't... He's like the +1 for someone who stuns for him. So I feel like in this game, if they... Like earlier when we saw the Io, Gyro, Bane lineup, that was like incredibly scary to play against because anywhere you are on the map, like Alliance was in danger of getting picked off. And I feel like if VP takes that approach, they could be a lot scarier this game.
More fighting.
Yeah, more fighting, more catch,
more
reach.
Yeah, the catch and stuns was a big problem.
Stuns, man.
Yeah, the Rubik as your lift was your only way of starting a fight, and initiating was a bit.
I think you can play with only a Rubik stun, but you actually can't make any mistakes. You go high ground, and you actually have to play perfectly. You can't be out of position at all. You can't get scored into the base. Nothing can go wrong.
It's like if Mirana has a Manta, how does he die that game? Yeah. Like if you actually think about it, like the only way they can kill you is globaling you. They're not going to kill you in one Rubik lift. So I just want to envision a lot of ways for the cores of Forward to die. Like if you put combinations of heroes from VP.
Yeah, at least like 2 heroes should be able to threaten.
Yeah.
Any hero of the Forward Gaming side.
I have an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
Denied.
So far, I feel like maybe Virtus.pro, we kind of overrated them. We saw them against Alliance, and maybe it's just the first day, a lot can still happen, but they didn't look like... Gods, you were the one saying, oh, they look like they're 75% of what I expected them to play at. Here, this first game against Forward just looked strong, and I'm not sure if it had anything to do with the lineup. They just played fast, they played to their strengths, they allowed Virtus.pro to get away with some stuff, and then they came in the right... I just felt like Forward were in this game the better team.
So maybe VP at 75% is their new 100%, is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, could that be? Because, I mean, maybe they're a little bit tired of the patch. That could be one as well.
Yeah. They could just be in a small little slump, as a team. Yeah. It's always a roller coaster of a journey of your ups, your downs. And
I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're bad. I still think they're going to be top of the tournament, but I'm not sure. At the moment, I don't think they're getting #1. They're getting maybe 5.
Yeah, I mean, you're comparing them to like the VP of last season.
Yeah,
like, that was just winning all the major tournaments. Yeah. So just to be clear to everyone watching.
They go to an ESL, they get their 3rd Mercedes. It's like, okay, we're here again.
I mean, like 6 ESLs from now, what's going to happen? They're gonna need to give it to the coach.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think that like I just want to see them draft way more like playmakers. Okay. Like we said stuns, but they're a flashy team. They are. So like let's see some flashiness.
Maybe I'm too fast with judgment.
No, I know. I don't think you're out of line with what you're saying.
I'll withhold judgment until after game 2.
There's one hero that catches and makes plays. Yeah.
So we're already happy with their draft. Axe is not slipped through very often, so
true.
Interesting to see it make an appearance. But last game Forward, I guess, had first pick, and that meant VP banned IO, I think.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure Morph and Enigma were both banned last game.
They were.
Seems like teams just don't want to give them Morphling, and Enigma just seems like one of those borderline OP heroes.
They got 100% win rate on Enigma as well.
Yeah.
For,
I mean, Enigma's just annoying. He just denies your creeps. You're always safe. Like, not always, but like,
it forces you to draft things.
Secures late game, no matter what your other heroes are.
Yeah, it's like you feel forced to get things that stop Black Hole, but then he can just itemize for BKB, Lincolns, and maybe be fine anyways.
Undying, one of the best heroes against this new position 5 Axe trend.
It can be. It's good against the core axe or the position 5, so that's kind of nice. Like if it's a position 5 axe, you'll go to whatever lane he goes to.
Yeah.
If it's a core axe, you obviously go to that lane.
I mean, either way, you just follow the X.
Yeah, yeah.
What your game plan is.
It makes a lot more carries like playable.
But no more ogre.
They're gonna get the drow.
Possible?
Are they still first rounding drow, or is that a thing of the past now?
I think at the moment it's this thing of the
It
past.
seems like, yeah, we haven't seen it
what I
in
was
this
wondering
series.
too.
In their past series, I don't know what their drafts were.
I feel like the 3 supports with drow are ogre, dirge, and or undying and bane. So
For
whenever I
forward,
see those heroes, like that's what they always pick with drow in the past, at least at like TI and before.
Yeah, some
forward
strong
did
laners.
not have any draw this day.
Interesting.
Might just be
Okay.
an NIP thing
Wasn't
only
even
right
banned
now.
out against them or for by them.
Okay.
If they're not picking drow, that hero must be much weaker than previously. And
nice
shocker
try,
there.
Arrow blade.
Just seems like every team's happy to pick first 2 TB Morphling PLs because they're just a tier above every other carry in the game.
Except anti-mage.
Especially
People just haven't
anti-mage.
unlocked anti-mage's
I mean, we
potential.
saw the AM ban last game.
Yeah.
If that didn't
We
happen,
did?
the game would have ended in 20 minutes in,
Uh-huh.
in forward's favor.
That was a
I'm
really
sure.
weird ban. I feel like that ban was.
I
Like,
have no idea why they banned it.
Yeah.
yeah, that was really weird.
Especially
Like,
if
isn't
they plan to
anti-mage like
pick
mediocre
Monkey.
versus Terrorblade?
Yeah, very. I mean, especially early mid game.
Yeah.
Really bad.
I think they were maybe hoping for like a last pick, like Invoker type hero, or like
I mean,
So they banned Anti-Mage because
Oh,
it's like, oh, if we're going to pick some Invoker type hero, we better ban something that's
It
good
would have. It
against
would have blocked the like Pugnas, the Lenas, the Zeuses.
Hmm?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
They're not
Invoker
Lena.
was the last ban on the side of forward themselves. So.
Yeah.
they do ban out the Arc Warden though on VP. Very strong hero against the Terrorblade. Although we have seen TV
Maybe.
beat it
I'm
quite
not-
a while.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
mean,
sold on
quite
that.
often. It's just like
Rezo
when-
likes the hero a lot too, though.
Yeah, that's very true.
I just feel like the hero set of Arc Warden in theory should be super good against TB.
Yeah.
And when I play it, it also feels that way. Just like he can't push towers, he can't really do what he
Yeah.
wants to do.
As Brian put it, sometimes one hero is good, the other's bad. Doesn't matter if the bad hero count as the good one.
Fair enough. Winter. So I just kind of want to secure the Terrorblade now.
And still a lot of those, the 2 popular mids, the Zeus and Tinker, still in the pool.
Zeus Tinker.
but Those are not really so much UR heroes. Perhaps.
No, they are.
Maybe something they're considering.
Actually, Resolution and Yawa both don't really like this spell. I mean, I guess they have Lina in the repertoire, but like Zeus, Tinker, that kind of stuff is not really not their thing.
I like the Shaman again for forward gaming. They did it last game. Felt really good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Speak of the devil.
It seems like I've lain against it as Terrorblade. It's really annoying.
Ooh. The dazzle comes out once more.
Dazzle TB.
I really think TB, he just needs to BKB this game and they're going to be fine, I think.
I like PL here now for forward. I feel like that's Rezo's hero, but we'll see.
PL is definitely strong.
Still the perfect record, by the way, for Dazzle on the side of Virtus.pro.
How many games?
100%. I
One,
think it was 6 at the moment.
6.
6 including today's game. Let me check. It is in the last month, by the way.
I mean, TB Dazzle is like the old school combo.
And
Wow,
for
the
the
1
viewers,
HP Sunder.
yeah, the reflection refreshes the poison touch in lane too, so it makes it so it's like a guaranteed extra few seconds of poison touch. Or like you said, the conjure image. You just follow them with the illusion as they're getting hit by poison
It
touch.
should be really good because the Poison Touch also slows by quite a bit. And
Yeah.
TB in general has a high movement speed. You don't want to leave any hero solo there, I think. It's going to be miserable for him.
I wouldn't be surprised if they also go Mirana again, just because it's like a comfort zone thing for them. But
Yeah.
they already have like the decent setup with the Shaman.
Forward has last speed this game, so they're probably going to last speed their mid.
Or like last game, they pick something that's kind of flexible between mid safe lane, which is where Mirana maybe is a good hero. 'cause
Yeah.
you can-
They're just
Decide
very
later
rigid with their drafting generally. They stick to what they're good at, and I think that's like a fine strategy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the exact same formula as last game. Get your SVG hero with your Universe hero first 2, pick your 4th position for MSS in the 3rd slot, and then pick like a flexible core and save your last pick for that kind of game-winning hero.
It actually feels like it's one of the few teams that don't pick their cores like really early. I mean, at least they carry on mid.
Yeah.
They always try to pick it as late as possible.
It's gonna be
They
another
do go for the
Mirana.
Mirana, yep.
And they were ready for that.
So yeah, I think they probably won this last game and they didn't get their hands on it because they tried to greedily last pick the hero.
Yeah, Invoker's one of the best matchups against Mirana as well, if they do want to put it middle.
And that's, at this point, you got to be thinking if you're VP, they may be looking to last pick something that can outlane the Invoker, like the TAs of Dota 2.
There is still a Brood Mother available if Forward wants to do that. Then they would have to do some mid-axe shenanigans.
They even banned the Tiny. Is that saying they might want Brood?
It's possible. Does someone of the team play it? Does Resolution play Brood? Yeah, why
yes,
doesn't play Brood?
yes, he does. Resolution does play Brood.
Okay, yeah. It's definitely a possibility then.
And there's the Nax and TB.
Yeah, they have the axe. I feel like it's not as good.
But if you
It's
do,
still very doable,
but
though.
then you have to like safe lane Invoker or off lane Invoker. It's kind of awkward.
Yeah, and Axe doesn't really want to play in the mid lane. He wants to be in that side lane.
Yeah.
Wave skipping, going jungle, moving around.
It just gives complete free farm to all of Forward's heroes, I think.
It's something they're definitely considering right now. Like, you almost never forget about those type of heroes.
I mean, they have like 2 minutes of extra time still, so.
Yeah. I feel like I look at the draft and I'm like, how do they get all the heroes that they like? It looks really good. If you compare this to game number 1, it's a world of difference. The question is, will they be able to play it as well? Because I'm also thinking that Forward, like this is something that is very typical to prepare for.
Yeah.
Also, the one thing they don't have is still that like kind of explosive game when you hear like Mirana Brew. If they pick like a Brood alongside, I'm still like, well, how do you like end the game, push high ground? Like and also, where's your catch? Like Shaman with a Blink Dagger, like he's your only real catch at that point, which to me is not really enough. And it's not a hero you want to be blinking in to start a fight because Shaman's very squishy.
I mean, what other hero are thinking for Resolution? And there's PL. He likes Void quite a bit, but they have Dazzle already.
I'm still thinking Kunkka. Like I said it last game, just against the armor that VP has, and then it also crushes Invoker in lane.
Yeah, Kunkka crushes Invoker hard.
I don't mind Ember for them. I think Ember is a great set for the Mirana arrow. And
my favorite hero with Mirana.
But the lane is very difficult against Invoker.
That's true.
As well as against the Axe dual lane.
I think it could just be a Lina game. I think the Dazzle ultimate, the Weave, is maybe kind of deterring you from going too much into physical damage, which is where Lina could come into play.
You don't want to pick any heavy committal heroes against Dazzle. Like it's just too hard to rely on killing somebody before the grave, especially a tanky hero like TB.
Maybe even a Storm is possible for them.
Yeah, something that can jump the Dazzle.
But Invoker is also very happy against Storm.
I feel like your decision on Forward Gaming, there's like so many options. You have to wait till you see what VP picks.
And VP's using all their time on the ban.
They can still make the off. This can be an offlaner or a 3 or a 5 position here.
I'm surprised they banned the Monkey.
I think it makes sense. Like, Monkey would have been, or I think has 2 good lanes whether he's against TB or Axe.
That tells me that Axe is core if they're banning the Monkey.
Yeah, it has to be core, yeah.
So they're looking for the Roger here last.
Yeah. How, with the Axe in the lane, does Axe need a babysitter? Because obviously Dazzle can babysit Axe or Dazzle can babysit Terrorblade. Like, how much freedom do they have with that 4 position? How greedy can they get?
I think they definitely need one because it's an
Because
Undying.
Shaman, and Shaman too.
Undying Shaman, if you're only one hero there, you can't lane actually.
Okay.
You definitely need 2 there.
Could see some kind of like Shaker type hero to secure the lane.
Shaker. Maybe go back some time, go Tusk.
Yeah.
Anything that threatens, I think, is good. I think like something that says like the Undying can't just willingly walk at us, because sometimes he can man up against 2 heroes. Oh, there you go. I like that. I like that.
The VP special.
Somewhere Fogged is cheering.
I think Broodmother is even better now, though.
Yeah, Brood is a really good pick.
It's an insta cancel for the Shackles, something talked about last game.
Storm is kind of out of the picture against Scar. It's very annoying to play against.
I believe Kunkka or Brood are their pick.
Kunkka is very good as well. Kunkka, Brood.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, Phantom Lancer could potentially work, but it's not the greatest.
They can put them around a mid and get a safe laner. It's like,
Phantom Lancer is surprisingly good against Axe. Like a lot of people think it's like unplayable. It's not that bad.
Yeah, especially in lane, it's also quite good.
And it's good against the rest of the heroes.
It is because of the peak timings, right? The peak timing of PL is ready before Axe is ready.
Yeah, generally,
like
yeah. So they do go PL.
Yeah.
It's just something where the Axe punishes carries that have to commit, and then he can just call you whenever he wants. But PL can actually like poke you down, burn your mana. So it's not always like so easy to catch a PL, even if you're an Axe. And like super good PL players, like Rezo's top class PL player. I'm gonna go for Forward Gaming's draft again here.
ooh.
This one is a lot more tricky to call, I'd say, than game 1.
Yeah, I mean, game 1 was tricky because I believed in Forward's draft, but, you know, it was like, okay, I feel like VP stronger team. This time around, I'm going to go with VP. I think the TB Dazzle looks pretty solid. They've got way better catch. So
I think they're going to have a big problem actually reaching the Dazzle to cancel the Grave or do anything about it. So I'm also going to go VP.
All
like
right.
both drafts.
Like both drafts.
Yeah.
But,
be another
but he's
good
an
game.
A, so he has to go for
Yeah.
an A.
I mean,
Yeah.
game 1 was close. Both teams took racks. It was definitely not a blowout by any means. And I think game 2 should be another great showdown.
That's what we're hoping for. Great showdowns here. Let's see what's happening in this game 2 with Trent and Zayori.
Thank you so much, Shiver. An exciting game 2 indeed. Some new faces. We finally get to see an Axe and a Skywrath on top of that. What are you thinking, Trent? Do you think this will be a 2-0?
I think she said my name first this time.
Oh,
so
okay. I see.
I'm getting upgraded. That's all I heard right there. I kind of agree with the idea of nice-looking drafts. I can see a path to victory for either team. How the game kind of goes, right? I see this Pasha Axe comboed up with the Roger Skywrath Mage. I don't know if you guys remember. That's really annoying to play against.
Yeah, there's a lot of comfort picks on the side of forward, though. The Yawar Marana
Definitely
again,
true.
the MSS, Shadow Shaman, both of them had incredible showings in game 1. Universe on Brewmaster, also someone that can create a lot of chaos in that mid-game. I'm favoring forward just a little bit, but I think this one will be a lot more close.
I think it's fair to take into account last game. Forward looking pretty on point in that one, so we'll see if the same thing happens here once again. As we're already in there, we're rocking and rolling here.
All right, let's
hop
do
on
it.
through that jungle and get in here, folks.
Definitely a lot of options for Virtus.pro, though. We talked about Dazzle with Terrorblade. It can be a very good combo, give him that opportunity to get off Sunders, things like that. Also pretty good with Axe. Axe loves to jump in the front lines. You've got the heals to keep him up. Obviously, you don't have to worry about your Grave getting countered when you've got Axe on your side. And they've got Skywrath, who can do a lot of damage, plus Sunstrike on top of Axe setups. A lot of ways for VP to take control of this game, no doubt.
Yeah, I really like the lane setups from Virtus.pro on the side lanes especially. Like this Terrorblade and Dazzle, the way they played it at Hamburg, it kind of has this like ebb and flow where they play really aggressively with the Shadow, with the Poison Touch, and then the idea is that you can try and commit for kills with the meta, right? Because it's so easy to keep that poison going. Every time you get a right click down, then you get a kill. But then what happens when the meta is down? That becomes the question. And that's when Solo, he just plays so aggressive on the hero, where he kind of like buys all this time for Ramses whenever he doesn't have the meta. So we'll see if they can get the same thing going again, or if they even end up laning together. We assume they will. Solo's just down here for now to help secure the bottom bounty runes. But likewise on the bottom lane, it's that same annoyance of the spam of the Arcane Bolt and the Battle Hunger over and over.
I also like that Forward have switched up their opening strategy here. That first game, remember how it started? They got that first blood on Solo. They went in pretty deep. And here they're right back to the kind of conventional opening that we've been seeing in most games. You know, just an even split with bounty runes.
Yeah.
No early blood.
Maybe knowing that they might be kind of prepared for something like that. But they're going to notice, as they've seen Pasha already, he came with 2 Stout Shields. And that kind of symbols a certain something when it comes to these Axe heroes. He's certainly considering cutting that wave there. And we've seen several heroes be successful in playing around that. It basically comes down to having really long-range harass to still punish someone while they're trying to farm under the tower, and Skywrath Mage has that. So I think after this wave, Pasha, or at least the wave after this, can definitely be considering to skip in between. Right. He's even starting to waddle his way there now, it looks like.
Yeah, and double melee for Forward might be a little bit difficult for them to deal with this. SVG will continue to steal some strength, but here we go. Pasha
This is the thing. I've tried every hero. You know, I went through. I was like, how can you actually counter? This is actually pretty good because he's not playing with the wave. Pasha's just running. Like, if he runs into the Undying right now, there's a chance that it doesn't actually go well for the Undying. But the fact that he keeps running like this is pretty bad. It's going to cost him a lot of his regen. But he came prepared for this, so he basically needs to be level 2. Once you're level 2 on the Axe, you can 1v1 any hero in this situation with a wave chasing. It just does way too much damage with Battle Hunger and then the move speed, and you keep chasing with the spins. So first step is to pull the wave all the way back like this, and now SVG's a little hung out.
Yep, still stealing a lot of strength, though. This Axe is down to 400 HP. Very squishy. Universe on his way to the creep wave. Roger. I think we're not going to see any kills here. Let's check in on our other lanes. Resolution versus No One mid. PL versus the Invoker.
This was the old classic.
Yeah.
Everyone used to counter the Invoker in the mid lane with the PL, but a lot of that relied on the poor man's shield to make it like totally ridiculous, as well as like there was quite a bit of
poor man's shield.
Yes, it was.
Respect.
What a wonderful time to be alive. At the same time, it also required like constant bottle crowing too, because you would just like keep spamming the lances over and over.
SVG though, hold that thought. This could be your first blood here, Trent. He's very low on mana, no more decay for another 2 seconds, and that'll be the end of him. Roger securing the first blood. So back to the PL.
Back to the PL. I mean, it's not as good as it used to be, basically, is what it comes down to. It's still a great lane for the PL. Life is good, but the Invoker does not get a 100% dumpstered anymore.
Yeah, it's not the hard counter it used to be.
Yeah.
Really a fair assessment. And up in the top lane, the Dazzle Terrorblade we'd already mentioned, and the Shadow Shaman Mirana, the two real comfort picks for these guys. And they're actually going to set up onto solo here. Roger, I think he just took that free trip back to the well. How is this top lane going in terms of farm? Actually favoring the Terrorblade. They might be able to grab solo here. They've got it. One last auto attack from Yawar will secure the kill.
Just whittling down solo for so long before finally committing there with the leap and the arrow. And I have such a hard time going into the Yawar Mirana, man. This guy, he is a different player on this hero. I think this and maybe his Pugna, it's also fair to say, it's probably one of his other best heroes, but I think Yawar, I think Mirana. And he just gets it again in this game. And once again, it's also so late in the draft.
Yeah. Pasha's off to a little bit of a slow start on this Axe, though. 3 minutes in, he only has 6 last hits. He's going to try to pull this wave. This was the moment you mentioned. He is level 2 now, so
life's
it's a little harder.
And this changes the equation quite a bit because of this.
Yeah.
Like, what a difference the Battle Hunger. And you think, like, oh, it's Undying. Yeah, you can do something about it. No, you can't. Bane is the only hero that can do something about this.
Dazzle's also okay.
No, Dazzle sucks. It doesn't work. I've tried it. Level 2, it's still bad. The Battle Hunger wins. And the only person who wins is Bane.
Huh. You can't nuke down the creeps enough to finish it off?
disagrees with me for the record. He believes in the Dazzle.
I don't know here, Trent. Things are turning
hey,
as
that's two
Roger
heroes.
ends up going down.
Things change when the Brewmaster comes over.
But can't Dazzle just heal the wave, though? Because Axe is surrounded. Doesn't it just do enough damage that the Axe can't keep up? I mean, he's probably going to go down here as well.
Yeah, he's got 2 heroes on him right now. So this
little
not working out.
overwhelming.
Oh. All right, he's just going to let SVG. Oh, maybe it's not enough.
Okay, this is a little
Universe
scary.
ditched.
SVG
All right,
able to finish him off. Okay.
We're good. Now, I know you think that, but then it's not enough spam. I've tried it a couple times.
Okay. It is a pretty long cooldown at level 1. 12 seconds is not great.
And you just die too fast.
Okay. The poison, though, Trent, you can keep the damage going if you auto-attack.
But Battle Hunger, my dude.
But
The Battle Hunger.
So if you snipe a deny, though, that's where the difference maker comes.
And another, speaking of which, another death into tower. The pseudo-deny, or the pseudo-deny, as Grant would say.
Skywrath posturing mid and try to pressure resolution a little bit here. Not sure how well this is going to go if they even find the opening. SVG already TPing in. That will intercept this gank potential with a nice sentry ward. Great counter on just about a full duration observer there.
Quick pause there. So while this is happening, though, Pasha, he's being given a lot of space in the bottom lane, so he's going to start pulling. He'll start getting that whole wave and getting out of control. But as he pointed out, he had a bit of a rough start to begin with, so he's about 10 CS behind on
Yeah,
the
this isn't the dream for cutting the wave with an Axe.
No, like it's been kind of close to the tower. He's been interfered with quite a bit, so they've done a really great job of handling it from the side of Forward Gaming. There's no doubt about that.
Now, Trent, I do want to educate you for a second. Axe's Calling Blade can be used to kill the courier.
That's a great tip, honestly. 'Cause a lot of people don't know that, but we see it from time to time.
But the first time you see it, you go, oh, holy shit.
You're like, oh,
That's
that makes
kinda cool.
sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's a lot of those abilities like that. Did you know you can also see the cast range of your spells by enabling the ability rangefinder in the settings menu?
Oh.
Also great to know.
It's a nice noob-friendly change there. That's pretty good.
Tepralbins. Wait sec. Thank you, Ramses.
Interesting. Okay. Literally a second. I think they're ready to go.
And the guy's an honest man, all right?
I like it. 4-2. Forward Gaming with a small lead out of this laning stage. And you'll see SVG push back Roger. Or we did just see that ward countered. So vision advantage is favoring Forward at the moment.
But speaking of advantages and the trades, it'll be 2 for 2 for the bounties. Roger gets both on the bots. Well, MSS will take both up top, I believe. Yeah, so 2 for 2. And Yawar has 3 leaps. No real concern of going down here. He's able to just walk around.
Yeah, the farm is not ideal for Yawar, though. About half of the CS of that Terrorblade at the moment.
SVG in trouble here as Roger and Pasha will come on over.
Oh, he does have a shrine, though. SVG going to survive a little bit longer than planned, perhaps. Has another decay, able to take Pasha down. Minus 12 strength on this guy. All the while, Universe trying to keep these creeps off the tower.
Yeah, one of the problems here is just the delay in the ring of health for Pasha, too, so
It
he's
feels
now
like
able
this-
to get over there for
Feels
it.
like it's just benefiting Universe, though. He's #1 on CS right now.
Yeah, it's so important when you have this Axe. Like, we've gotten to the point now where Axe is such a, like, tier 1 hero that he gets picked up extremely early in the draft, right? And that means teams have time to pick heroes that can lane under the tower against creep wave and still get all the last hits. So Brewmaster has great attack animation, high enough armor. He's a melee hero with a stout shield. Life's good, so he can tank all the creeps under the tower. Has enough HP regen that it's fine. So that makes a really big deal when it comes to playing against these axes. And now they can just kill him with split if they want.
Yeah,
and
level 6 Brew against a level 4 Pasha. This is not great for the axe. Boulder Toss will come through. SVG will join the party for a few extra right clicks, but he hands the kill over to Universe.
I would say that this axe has been played incorrectly. I don't think they cut the wave at the right time. I think they cut the wave way too close to the tower. Like, if you're going to be cutting waves with the axe, there's no way the core hero in that lane should be able to help. That's the whole point. You should be far enough away from the tower that he has to choose between the last hits or harassing the axe. And somehow Universe was able to do both because of the poor positioning.
Yep, and SVG also gets a freebie onto Roger. A little skirmish up top. Yawar pretty low after trying to finish off solo. A lot of action happening in all the lanes, but I'm inclined to agree with you about this bottom lane. We'll see that suicide into the tower for the free trip back.
It was still too close to the last damage from Roger, though. So
yeah, that's a little unfortunate.
Do you know
how long is that?
It's 20 seconds.
20 seconds, okay. Good to know. Today I learned. Pasha trying to get his level 6, about halfway to 5, but SVG unrelenting with those decays. Universe pretty low on mana, and SVG maybe in a little deep. Does have one Soul Rip available. Universe bringing some creeps over. Sunstrike gonna be off the mark. It's a close one, but SVG lives. And up top, Solo now going to get hit by the arrow. They've already killed Ramses. It's going to be a double for Yawar. I missed the setup on what happened at the beginning.
I mean, it's been so busy down bottom that we barely had any time to even watch that top lane, honestly.
That's huge, though. I mean, that's incredible for Yawar, who's kind of struggling in CS. He's now ahead of the TB in terms of net worth. SVG getting chased down near his shrine. Will get caught by the Berserker's Call, but MSS has some disable. SVG does not get dunked. They actually kill Pasha in time. Roger trying to commit for it. He will get the kill, but will not be able to survive himself. Forward are just getting so much out of these trades.
Very big win for them.
I mean, that shackle was like right there to interrupt it. And now, speak of the devil, MSS sets it up again onto no one. Resolution will dive under the tower. Doppelganger forward. Now TP in from Roger. Cold Snap going to make Resolution's life a little more difficult, and now he might be regretting this choice to dive so deep. Reinforcements are here, and this PL, he's going to go back. He wants this kill, and he gets it. Resolution gets it before he goes down and finds the advantage.
Oh, and again up top, an arrow from Yawar will finish off. So no, that grave, the last possible moment. I can't believe that.
That was insane.
Whew. Just enough there. I'll keep him up, but still, I mean, this lane has essentially been abandoned here from side of Virtus.pro.
Feels like things are falling apart rapidly for Virtus.pro here. Resolution getting that kill and forcing all those rotations in. It's a big deal.
6K advantage, 1K lead right now. And now it's even going to bring the Invoker to the top lane. Be the one to try and stem the bleeding here.
Well, no one does have a Tornado. EMP not going to be enough to finish off Yawar as he's able to leap away. Interesting lane rotation. They'll put Ramses in the jungle for now. And then back mid, it's just Roger trying to defend this tower, but it will be an uphill battle against the Rasta Serpents that have now come down. The Vipes.
Shadow Shaman is Shadow Shaman and Jakiro are two of like the position 5 heroes that actually have objective focus inside of them. And like in their kit. It's very rare to have, and they both feel extremely good when you're playing from ahead.
Yes.
Like, they're really bad when you're behind. It's difficult to make turnaround plays on both Jakiro and Shadow Shaman, honestly, but it looks real good when you get a little bit of an edge in laning phase like this and you start just dropping snakes across the map.
Yep. Tower does go down, ends up getting denied by Virtus.pro, but I think forward still pretty happy with that. Universe with a 10-minute Blink Dagger on top of Treads from this safe lane. He's actually #1 on net worth right now. Axe is currently #2, so he's been able to farm pretty effectively in the jungle with that Vanguard.
Yawar gave his bottle to MSS, who then took an Invis rune, so they're trying to get here in time with the Shadow Shaman to help out, create a kill opportunity.
Oh, nice split. Sunstrike will not connect, and now he's going to go in onto Roger. That forces a TP from the Axe. Not sure if we'll be able to kill Roger in time.
MSS is coming.
There are reinforcements here. SVG also joining the party, and there's MSS. He's going to find Roger in the trees, but he does get silenced. I don't think Roger is anywhere to go. Universe a little bit low on resources, but will still finish off the Axe. It's a 2-for-0. Very nicely done.
Yeah, the Tombstone was just way too much at that point. It already looked difficult for VP. Then that gets dropped down from the Undying. Be like, yeah, absolutely zero hope. So another just instant use of the split right away. Just keep building their lead now to 2K advantage. That was almost a 1K gold swing in itself.
Mid
And
lane,
Ramses
could be in some trouble. Resolution does get sundered, so now needs to be
gets
very
the right
careful.
guy.
Also taking a lot of damage from the tower. They will finish off that tier 1 in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, but Yawar, he jumps in, knows Ramses does not have a Sunder. There's the Starstorm, connects with the arrow, and that'll be another kill on the Terrorblade. No! Solo in time with the heal and the Grave. That's going to be the end of Yawar instead. Very nice from this Dazzle.
Man,
that
this
was
is
big.
Some of the closest kills here.
Solo is living life on the edge.
Yeah, sticks, wands, Dazzle.
Yeah, that was actually a stick into Grave.
They needed that.
No Shadow Wave from Dazzle.
If your TB's dying underneath the tier 2 at 12 minutes, like that game is...
Yeah.
You get a little bit demotivated
I mean, really, any other hero dies there from those right clicks. It's that, by the way, 23 armor that kept the Terrorblade alive, I think.
It's pretty good.
Yes. Arcane Rune picked up by Resolution. Rost Awards also just cooled down for MSS.
Oh, and look, MSS, speaking of which, just cooled down, as you said. What do you think he's going to do here? He just stacked him up. Is he daring to farm it once more? It looks like he's almost doing the math here. He's like, can I get this close enough to farm both these camps at once? I think I might be able to.
Last time, he did wait until it was a triple stack at the Ancients before he committed wards for it. So might be another 30 seconds before we see that. However, he does smoke up with SVG now behind that mid-tier 1.
Let's fight with these wards, they say. And
yep.
VP closing in on Yawar.
They're smoked up as well. Looking to find this opening. Solo and MSS bump into each other. Resolution on the low ground. Who's going to get caught? It's the Mirana up top, but it looks like Solo will also fall. They do commit wards for that. A little surprising. Universe now moving in onto Roger. Split just cooling down. SVG on the high ground, drops the Tombstone, runs right into the Skywrath, and I don't think Roger was going to be able to survive this one, especially now that Resolution jumps in.
Another close survival here.
SVG with the Soul Rips. It's only level 1, but he does enough to survive. Now the split. They're going to commit hard onto this Invoker. No one running out of options. The Shackle locks him down, and he falls. Pasha
this is a TB, no
with
meta.
A big Berserker call. They do grab the Shadow Shaman. Now the Exodus for forward. Moonlight Shadow buying them some time. They're spread out in the trees. What's the TP situation? Not great. 30 seconds on Universe. But it doesn't matter. They're just going to walk away.
They're
Solo
retreating together here.
Is Solo going to get caught? He's going to walk right into him. That's not the place you want to be, Sweet Dazzle. Forward Gaming doing it again, and now Pasha, he's going to run in. Great split from forward. Arrow will be off the mark. Pasha trying to get cover under his tower.
Oh, they're already missing quite a few skills. Can't go missing some arrows now. Got to be bailing out of here if they don't have split.
I think forward definitely need to try to minimize any losses. They already got a lot out of this. They forced a lot of rotations. Virtus.pro will not be able to punish it.
Oh man, VP, they feel like they are struggling a little bit here. Because they just can't get anything going. Like this rotation from the TB, this rotation from the Invoker, instantly dying. He's got like a 4-4-2 build going on.
Ramses is farming very well. #1 on net worth, and while all that skirmishing was happening, he was just rotating the jungle, trying to get that initial kit going. Courier is going to be delivering that Yasha right now. So a silver lining for Virtus.pro amidst all this chaos. And Invoker actually committing for a Hand of Midas here, Trent. Also going for that
feels
Quas
pretty
Wex.
good considering his teammates. I think that's all right. Like,
Is
not
there-
having the best game, lowest of the cores, well, except from UR, actually.
So I'm far from an Invoker expert. In the past, Midas was usually reserved for the Exort build. Midas on Wex, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit unique, right? More recently, we've been seeing this would usually just be rush right into a Spirit Vessel, but that's when you can play confidently and aggressively with like your whole team. Maybe if they were snowballing a bit more, he'd go for that, but I can see why he wants the Midas.
Ooh, initiation onto SVG. They'll
Arrow
be able to
in the
bring him
back line.
down.
Catches Solo.
And they'll trade 1-for-1 on supports, but will more kills come? This Mirana could be in some trouble. Out of leaps now. Friends nearby, and that will stop Virtus.pro from an additional pursuit.
Keep talking about how incredible these arrows and everything have been from Yawar, but it also comes down to just the vision. Just like last game, when he's picking up Pasha in the jungle, like, why is it happening? It's wards from SVG. This guy just gets in so deep to enemy territory and drops these great wards down.
Absolutely. Invoker very much struggling this game. Lowest farm on the cores. Maybe that Midas is just going to be a requirement to get him back up to snuff. Trying to repel Resolution here in the top lane. Relatively successful in that endeavor.
They've smoked 2 bot, wrapping behind around an Axe, but they're also going to find Ramses at the Ancients here. This is a little bit, and SVG, of course, is getting wards down.
They're not going to go for it, though. Yep, maybe looking at the Axe, who just now picks up his Blink Dagger.
And they're going to TP mid for a smoke, it looks like. Is there one on Roger? None available. Yeah, Solo just buys them and sends the courier.
Okay.
Pasha's ready to go. That's what he's saying. I got Blink. Let's go kill. Slay.
That's what you got to do. 3, 4, and 2 on this Axe. He's been relatively quiet since those efforts in the early laning phase.
They're going to be a little too late, though. Rezo is 1 creep away from a Diffusal Blade. Would love to try and slow this down. So he'll at least have the gold for it, dead or not. It's getting close. 15 more gold. I don't know if they're going to get here in time.
I think he's going to get this last creep, and there it is. So Diffusal Blade is
He
up.
might still die, though.
Caught by Pasha. Do they have the damage and the duration of the taunt? And they certainly do.
Loses 0 gold on that death.
Yep. I think of all the times to die, Rezo can't be too upset about that one. It'll definitely happen from time to time. As they say with the Axe Blink Dagger reveal, you get one. You get one good one that catches me off guard. Now we're going to play a little more safe.
And Soul actually gets the wave down bottom as the TB will stay in the jungle. He's also being watched by that ward that was placed by SVG, so quite a bit of gold for the Dazzle. But they kind of have to do this with Solo because he plays these non-GPM heroes a lot. Like, he plays the Bane or he plays the Dazzle, and he can't afford as many sentries as opponents, and they're getting brutalized on the vision game from these wards from SVG.
If they removed Ogre's gold talent, how much would that hurt his position
He would
as
not be
the
picked.
greatest hero in Dota, according to the great
I
trend?
would not play Ogre if he didn't have GPM talent.
I see. So it really is just weighted in your analysis of how broken gold talents are. I see.
Yes, 100%.
Gotcha. All right. Understood, my friend. I also want to comment on the MSS item build. He's going for a Yule Scepter this game. Just picks it up, so not rushing the Blink Dagger. Opting for something a little more defensive.
Cancel for the Axe.
Yep. And speaking of that, they're going to try to initiate on him now. Follow-up Hex as Universe jumps in. There's the Shackle, and Pasha gets picked off in the mid lane. And an Arcane Rune with a Rasta that has Mass Serpent wards.
Oh, yeah, baby.
This is the dream.
Give me the bottle. Let me get it, and schnicks.
Wow. You know, it's always that double damage rune outside of Roche, but in this situation, I think the Arcane is actually the real double damage.
There's not many heroes that get it over Panda in this situation, but Shaman is one of them.
There was a tornado that flew into
Look at
Roche.
Roger, though. He's still bullying in.
Yeah, a little bit conservative. Roger goes in too early. They've got the Shadow Shaman isolated mid. MSS will go down, but kind of just creates space for the rest of his team to finish off Roche. Still a little scary. Sunstrike does snipe
Roche. I mean, it almost killed Rezo. That kind of saved his life.
Yeah, and he might actually lose the Aegis
doubled into the snakes.
Oh,
Rezo, no. All right, they're going to be dead. It should be okay. Plus, they'll have Doppelback anyway. That's pretty funny.
They're going to try to EMP. Yep, not going to work. Meanwhile, Pasha, though, he's coming around the other side. SVG breaks the Blink Dagger. They'd really like to kill Resolution here, but no one. Out of mana. There's the Doppelganger up towards the high ground. Pasha trying to do what he can, but just cannot grab on to this elusive PL.
Smart to back there, too, because they're running into a team that they know they missed out on a couple of the skills there. There's no brew split, so...
Well, trying to jump in. They stop the split from coming out, but they're not going to have the damage to kill Universe. Now they're going to pursue onto Pasha. Arrow does not connect, but they should have the damage to chase him down.
Meanwhile, MSS catches Solo with the Yules, too, trying to turn this into 2 kills instead of just 1.
There's the Hex. Shackle's going to follow it up. Pasha's already gone down, and it looks like his efforts will be successful. Solo did not get off the shallow grave. Wouldn't have helped him survive anyway.
Nice play by MSS. Just not tunnel visioning on the Axe there and just creating an and one on their free throw kill.
Yeah. Still a very tight game, though, Trent. 22-11. The farm is basically even, partially because of that Roche snipe. But Virtus.pro still has some options. Bounties come out. There's the Yule Scepter. Keeps the Rasta alive. Brew Split comes out onto the Invoker. Boulder, follow-up from Yuar. I think this
trying to come here, but he's too late.
Roger,
it's a no-meta TB. What? Ramsey's still going in.
They've still got a little bit of time on this Brew Split. I mean, sure, Shadow Shaman's kind of low, but this is a peculiar sequence.
Yeah. There's just enough backup there that Ramsey feels confident about this, but there's also not enough catch at the same time.
Yep, Universe can be able to make it back. Not going to be able to punish this the way they want. And meanwhile, up top,
there was a kill onto SVG from Ramses, too, while that was all kicking off down bottom.
Okay.
I think we saw in the picture-in-picture, but that helped SVG still get the rune, though. So.
Okay. A lot of space for Resolution, though. However, at that same token, Terrorblade has had almost unlimited space. 11K net worth right now. Ramses is farmed like an absolute madman. 2,500 gold on top of the Manta style he just picked up.
That's true.
And he's going to get that Tier 1 tower on top of it.
The only thing about TB is that he relies so much on his allies to make the game work. I feel like PL is just almost the exact opposite. Like, PL can win these... He's one of those rare heroes that can have these really weird 1v5 fights, and you still feel scared the whole time that PL is just going to kill everyone, even when you're like ahead in the game, right? Whereas TB, he's extremely reliant on this Quaspex Invoker setting up very good fights so that he can just be the tower. He just stands there, he lobs his damage in, he needs help from Pasha too.
That's definitely true.
This vision here, right on top of MSS and SVG.
SVG was right there. They both get caught by the Berserker's call, though. Damage not going to be there. MSS surviving for now, but gets disarmed.
The Snakes, though,
managed to come down.
No one's
Universe
dying.
jumps onto no one, and this is going to end up pretty well for Forward. Shackles come out, and it's 2 down. Now Roger on the run. He's been dusted.
I mean, you're broken as a team when this happens.
Yeah. I don't know if they'll be able to finish off Roger, but on the other side, they kill that Dazzle.
Rezzo's still chasing Ramses.
And Ramses is out of mana, a couple of stick charges. He will make it up to the high ground. How deep
He's
does
still
Rezzo want to go?
He's got no mana for the old Sunder. You know,
4 down on the side of VP. They did manage to finish off the Skywrath, and they also caught the Dazzle.
That's painful, man. Like, you're jumping into, you have a ward and a sentry, and you're just like, okay, we have a good idea what's going on here. If they pop the Moonlight Shadow, we can still get this kill, and they can't bring down either of them just because they're being stalked and shadowed by the rest of Forward Gaming.
It looked like a great catch from the Axe.
Yeah.
2 heroes of the Berserker's Call.
If you don't have enough damage to punch that at this point, then you're obviously
You're in big trouble.
into the issues.
Yeah.
It's a good thing they got that Aegis right away last time. Oh, another Arcane Rune here, and still a full minute to kind of think about it here. So he can wait till the Snakes are back up and grab that Arcane Rune.
All right. Things feeling quite good for our Radiant team. Universe getting closer to that BKB. We're more than halfway there. Always a key item on this Brewmaster, especially against the Skywrath Mage. That silence can be very irritating in terms of split timings. And Manta not too far off on the Phantom Lancer. Even more illusions to deal with. Smoke now, deep into enemy territory from VP. They do get a ward down on the way.
They just can't run into the ball of Forward, or this is terrible. They need like a solo hero, right? They want that Blink Call into Sunstrike / Mystic Flare. But look at that. Their smoke pops, and they just go, and no.
Yep. Can't force it. Forward or just in the wrong spot for that to be able to work. Ramses now gets his Scotty. Terrorblade still farming very well. You know, it feels like Forward have control of the game right now. I can't help but feel like Virtus.pro still have a pretty real chance in this game.
It's not a big lead. It's only 3K. It is 5K XP now. VP were actually holding the XP advantage for a while. I think the later it goes, it's like a little better just because meta is like always up, kind of, because fights get so much more spaced out. At the same time, that means they're always going to have split. They're always going to have snakes, but definitely seems to favor Virtus.pro when so much of their damage is reliant on this Terrorblade. Plus, the Invoker is one of the best scaling heroes, and he actually gets there. And that is his Aghanim Scepter coming out here. So Virtus.pro can definitely win that next team fight. But the Vision game is still a big struggle for them.
Moonlight Shadow, it's already been used. Pasha in a very aggressive position right now, getting surrounded by enemies.
Look at these wards again here from SVG.
And they see it. He's going to get caught. Universe, break that Blink Dagger, and no help inbound. That'll end up being a freebie for Forward.
And they're just chasing SVG like, yes, they got his ward, but you still can't commit into this because the rest of the team's still there. They know from Pasha's death.
And no one will end up just TPing out. The Aghanim Scepter is finally up on the Invoker. Feels like it's been kind of a tough game for this Invoker. 3, 4, and 4, definitely been involved in a fair share of kills, but
he has to go Quaswex. Like, that's another thing is that why this PL isn't a hard counter anymore is that you can't just go pure Exort in the lane or you'll get destroyed by the PL. So you have to go for this Quaswex build to help like nullify all the spam and everything. So that means you don't have as easy for the Sunstrikes with this Axe, but
right
yeah,
here,
speaking of the rough time.
Rotate in onto no one, another easy kill for Forward. Arrow flying through the corpse. Just not feeling the impact of the Invoker this game. You know, I heard the panel say that it's that Invoker-Mirana matchup could be a big motivator to try to pick the Invoker there, but the last pick PL.
I mean, they must have known, though. There's no way that Mirana's going mid.
Yeah, well, that's why else would you pick the Invoker? Is I can't quite...
They did the same thing at Hamburg, where they didn't necessarily know that was what was coming mid, and they were still confident enough to take it. Like,
just seems a little peculiar.
it seems to be a rough one. That's for sure.
The Atos also up on Skywrath. Great utility item, but...
What do we got? 20 seconds till the possibility of that Roche. That's where we're at now, right? I mean, yeah. BKB on UR.
Kind of feels like we're at that point where if Virtus.pro get the next Roche, that evens out this game a little bit, extends things. If Forward get this next Roche, things look a little more grim for Virtus.pro at that point.
Yeah, you would think that they'd just be able to, like, at least close out the entire map at that point. Get the last tier 2s, get Suffocating Vision. And they're going to group up here. So they want to make use of this old Aghanim Scepter.
Smoke and Moonlight Shadow used.
They seem to be aware of this because they had that deep ward in the Radiant jungle. So they're waiting on this high ground. So much pressure on Pasha. Even if he doesn't get a great call, he needs to at least absorb some attention so that no one can capitalize on it. Doesn't look like they're going to find it, though. In fact, it's Ramses who's actually kind of at the forefront of this as the real hero moves into the wave.
No great angle of initiation. Arrow connects on Ancients. Seems Forward will just back out for now. Not going to force the issue.
That was a bit scary. Like, it's only level 3 grave. There's no Aether Lens or anything. But they were still confident that they'd be able to save Ramses if they went in on that moment. So Forward just not really liking the setup. Say no point risking our advantage at this point. However, that advantage is dwindling a little. The XP's growing, but the gold is not. Ramses continues to do Terrorblade things.
2 outer towers still standing. Tier 2 in the mid and bottom for VP. Terrorblade closing in on his Black King barn now. And interestingly enough, Yawar is switching up his item build a little bit. He's already picked up the BKB. Now Lincoln's queued up. So 2 defensive items following his Maelstrom.
He is pretty high damage support in the Shadow Shaman too, so I think it's okay to be a little more defensive. PL, of course, also pretty high on the old wrapping things up with the damage. If everyone could just like still keep focusing onto like this Mirana and this Brewmaster running around these fights, creating issues, it makes it so much easier for Resolution to just like dance around. So just survive. Don't leave the PL completely on his own. Yeah. Ooh, big talent though. Level 20 for the Terrorblade. Minus 10-second reflection cooldown. Very frustrating when you're trying to fight into the high ground. So at the very least, they held out for that. And now they're putting good pressure onto that bottom tower while the Roche possibilities are getting close. No one knows exactly how far away it is. When they're trying to bring that attention, this tier 3 almost out of nowhere here.
Is this going to be a freebie? There is a glyph.
There is not. That is a scan.
Oh, that's a scan. You're right. There is no glyph. Good call, Trent. Tower still goes down, and now this fight's going to break out. Tombstone goes down, as do the Rasta wards as Pasha jumps in. Tornado flies through the fight, but Ramsey's getting reasonably low on the back line. Pasha gets hexed up. There's kind of 2 fights happening now. Ramsey's on the run with the BKB. Pasha dies first. VP in full retreat. Few seconds left on the match community from Ramses, but I'm not sure if they can close the gap except for Universe.
Solo. They really want Ramses.
Yeah, they're going to commit pretty hard. Does still have the Sunder. He gets it off onto Resolution. And Resolution goes down because of it.
This guy's good. I don't know how he, like...
How did he know
in
that?
That mass,
one was crazy.
Again, he still manages to do it. That is so ridiculous. That's the second time this game where it just looks like it's going to be impossible. Even if you know what the right one is, it's hard enough just to click the damn thing when they're all just rushing all over.
Makes you wonder how much of that was, I know this is the one, and how much of that was, I just need to guess or I'm dead.
Oh, gets it correct. I can't. And the
Either
fact
way,
that you even turn into the kill too.
Either way, it works out wonders for VP. That gold lead has completely dwindled. They get the tier 3 out of it, basically only losing Pasha there.
Honestly, you lose Ramses there, and you're kind of still happy. Like the fact that he gets out alive is astounding, and that puts him in a good position to contest this next Roche too, because that pressure will be coming that bottom lane. I mean, it's not Rax, which is good, but it still just gives it more attention there. And yeah, there's a replay. Yeah, he got him.
Unbelievable.
In the mass.
Zoom in. I like it.
Get the camera, Mom.
Well, now we've got a real game on our hands. 31-13, and it's actually even.
10k XP for the Radiant, though.
That's true. Yeah. But still, one of these great games, always indicative that kills are not what Dota is about necessarily. It is a game of economy, Trent.
Thank you.
Wasn't sure if you were aware.
Oh, no. I don't really know a whole lot, to be honest. I think this next Roche fight, who does it look better for? I'd probably give a slight edge to Forward, but not by much. Like,
Yeah, Axe is pretty damn good around the pit. Invoker as well.
Yeah, the only reason I give it a little bit of an edge is just like how annoying the Moonlight Shadow is, and I feel like they're still struggling with the vision game, so I think that could set up really well for Forward in terms of like getting the first jump, and that is almost always the most important thing.
I think Forward also has this ability to create chaos, right? You've got the Bruce Split, you've got all these PL illusions, plus Rasta wards on top of that.
Plus double Tombstone.
And double Tombstone. There's just a lot of shit on the screen,
yeah.
You know, and like Axe can't grab it all.
I call that the Wings strat. The ESL Manila, where they did Venomancer, Undying, and Pugna or something like that, or Nether.
Yeah.
They just had like 4 heroes with summon units that were just so frustrating.
You gotta throw Phoenix in there as well.
Yeah,
so it's like,
just,
do we kill the egg? Do we kill the
never
Tombstone?
enough time.
It's, yeah. Even if you get it right, it still just creates this level of chaos that forces the other team to kind of panic when all that stuff comes out. Virtus.pro taking some more objectives around the map. They've knocked down 2 Tier 1 towers, so tower count actually favoring VP now by 1. Both teams with 2 Tier 2s left, but of course they did grab that Tier 3 just a few moments ago. And the BKB is also up on Invoker. So, moment for no one to shine in this next fight. What a tense game. Back to farming we go. Right now, both teams pretty comfortable split on their respective sides of the map. Sunstrikes being spammed into the Roche pit.
This time, they don't have lane issues, though. Like last game, the reason it went Forward's way essentially was that they could just push the waves better than Virtus.pro, despite the fact they had a TV. But this game, that's not really being a problem at all.
Yep.
At least Ramses, even if they don't have the best heroes overall, once again, it feels like he's primed enough that at this point, it is somewhat tough here. It's like basically Rezo who's a do-it-all. And they're trying to keep some of these heroes off the map, like Universe, so they know when they're going to have these good initiations, but they're into the pit.
Yeah, they smoke in.
Yeah, that's going way too fast.
And I don't know if Forward are actually aware of this.
No, let's say they're waiting to be smoked upon. And now they're just going to say, oh, the guys, they didn't do it. They just went straight for it. With no kills, they went in the pit. They got it.
So risky, and they'll pick it up. Aegis goes to Ramses. Silence on the Undying. Resolution jumps to the front lines. VP about to be punished very hard for this, though. They do get some decent shackles onto Ramsey. They lose SVG. They lose MSS. Now the Sunder onto Yawar. It's bad for Forward Gaming. 2 buybacks used. Doppelganger out of the pit. Universe will be able to survive alongside Resolution.
They're just getting illusions at this point, but Rezo went all in on the supports. Now finally he can focus Ramses.
Ramsey's up on the high ground. That's his BKB now. Still has the Aegis. Solo does get off the shallow grave. That buys him some valuable time. Meanwhile, Universe with his BKB, he's trying to make it out. No one will get brought down by the wards. Universe ends up falling. It's a very chaotic fight.
There's been a lot of buybacks here. They
still
still need more.
advantageous for VP, yeah.
Ramsey's now in trouble from Rezo, or maybe he's got the correct
Rezo,
one again.
No. Rezo going down here hurts so much. Marana also going to die. A dieback now onto Yawar. So much economic damage, and they still have the Aegis through all that. Ramses playing like an absolute god, living up to his namesake here on this Terrorblade.
He just gets the correct PL, and he keeps his focus every time.
Just incredible.
And he a whole massive illusions. Like, he's so good at recognizing like which one's taking the correct amount of damage, and then working off of that for the kills. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. Hex onto the Terrorblade. Virtus.pro looking to pressure here, potentially end this if Forward make a mistake. Buyback used by Universe, 4 seconds on the split. Tier 3 getting low. They're going to bring down this Terrorblade. That's the Aegis. Can they kill him again, though? There's the split from Universe.
Oh, he gets Spear Vessel. Pasha can't counter-initiate now.
Roger up on the high ground. There's no Solo with a Grave. They're probably going to be able to bring down this Axe. Now the Hex onto the TB. He does have a BKB, so they're going to have to keep the crowd controls chained. Not going to be possible, though.
There's just no damage. There's no Marana.
They will bring down Roger. SVG able to just barely survive. It's a great hold from Forward. Not even losing the Tier 3 tower. It's costly, but they do hold.
Almost kind of feels like the last Aegis where it gets used a little early, but all the buybacks are really what ends up being the major victory here for Virtus.pro, just taking those away from the Radiant side.
So we've got Marana, Shadow Shaman, as well as the Brewmaster, all 3 with buybacks on cooldown.
Yeah.
That Butterfly working wonders for this Terrorblade. PL did pick up a heart, but it doesn't really matter that much against these Sunders. I'm going to be honest with you.
That was a bold maneuver there from Virtus.pro. Like, most teams would be looking for that pick off. You wouldn't just go right into the pit like that. But I guess part of it is that there's no like instant threat from forward. Like, you think if it was the opposite way, forward can't go into the pit without a pick off because there's this threat of just a blink call, and it's just over, right? Like at that point, the fight is extremely difficult for you to win if you get caught out like that. But even if there is like a blink, clap, and a split, it's not that same like, oh, we're all instantly disabled. Like they still have time for BKBs and everything like that. So the fight's not necessarily a total loss if they get caught out like that. It's no doubt still risky. And at the same time, they just do it way too fast with Alacrity and TD.
True. Yeah, that's a, we haven't mentioned that, but the Alacrity Terrorblade is ridiculous in terms of damage output. I guess fishing arrows can be a little scary in those situations, but definitely a good call by Virtus.pro.
Thanks for the tips, Griff.
Knowing they needed to.
He's helping us out.
Yeah, that's great.
He's on theme, you know. He just wants to better himself like we do.
Hey, don't we all?
Now Lincoln's for Ramses.
Even harder to deal with now. I love the way he's itemized here. A perfect mix of survivability and damage. Feels like a great Lincoln's game, especially against this Shadow Shaman.
All right, so now, what happens when Rezo gets 25, though? Because I don't know if you guys recall. But
you mean that
minus
4-second doppelganger?
Oh, you mean that TI Finals talent? Yeah, it's...
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Still 2 levels away, though, and Terrorblade has hit his 25, so Sunder down to the immaculate 5-second cooldown.
He still has to be really cautious, though, because of his PL.
True.
The mana cost now makes it a little bit harder.
Good point.
And they want to secure themselves a Rax. They don't have the Aegis. And there goes a Moonlight.
See what Forward do here. Level 20 now also secured on the Brewmaster. Picks up that attack speed talent.
Oh, they're going high ground.
Initiation onto the Terrorblade to start things off with the Hex. And they kill that so fast. Range Barracks down, split from Universe. Terrorblade blocked by some crowd controls. He's going down quick, but the BKB gets popped. There's the Sunder onto Yawar. Again, Ramsey's topped off. Resolution in the back line trying to push back Roger. But this looks like VP's fight. Solo's gone down.
That
the Brew is just getting destroyed. Now the Hex, the long-range Shackles. Here's the Cataclysm.
Oh, the Yules! But it's not enough. SVG gets sundered.
3 heroes down without buyback. PL starting to get low. He's in some trouble. Another Sunder. Ramsey's topped off again. Rezo desperately trying to survive, but it won't happen. Buyback used straight away, but his 4 friends will be locked in the grave. And I think this is going to be GG taking us to game 3 here.
Virtus.pro whip one out when things are getting dicey, all off a bottom lane push that sent this game into a downward spiral for Forward.
Yeah.
Ramsey's played out of his mind this game.
Absolutely. MVP
his
for me.
Target acquisition, that was just... I can't believe some of those fights. It felt like they had no right winning some of those engagements.
I want to know, how did you know? You know, every single time. Like, I want to do that post-game interview and Ramsey's, what is the secret? How do I beat PLs the way you do? Because that was unbelievable.
I know, I feel like I'm missing something, like some strong dispel. Maybe there was something that we just missed where
it's possible, but I mean, he hit it, what, four times? 3 times that game?
It felt that way, where it seemed like it was ridiculous.
And like you said, even if you know, it's still not necessarily easy to click on the right target when there's all that stuff moving at the same time.
I guess they might be pro players or something. That's weird.
Still.
That probably helps a little bit.
Even for pro players, that was damn impressive.
Yeah,
you got to give credit where credit's due, man. I mean, that game was not easy for Virtus.pro. Forward had a great start. There were moments where it looked like Forward might be able to run away with the game, but they sniped that first Roche. That helps quell some of the momentum. Remember the Sunstrike?
Yeah, they got Sunstrike, and then they also just killed the Aegis right away. So that kind of stopped the momentum in that regard. And then I guess they just didn't have that same snowball effect when they were just rolling and rolling. Despite all that crazy vision they had, I thought Forward were going to take that game because it just felt like SVG was roaming freely. He's getting wards down. They're creating kills with Yawar. Things looked good, but there were a couple kills that kind of got traded back favorably for the side of Virtus.pro.
Yeah.
Slowly the game started evening up, and Ramsey just took over the entire map and made it really hard for Forward to progress and actually just get more of those
556 last hits for Ramsey's that game. Next highest was a 308 by Resolution. Just speaks to how much time Ramsey spent in that jungle in the early mid-game. But for now, we're going to send it back to the panel to hear their thoughts.
Yes, Ramsey's on fire that game on his Terrorblade. Some really good, great plays actually. Virtus.pro therefore ties the series 1-1 with a forward. And here to talk to you about game 2, we still got our panel. It is Black Gods and BSJ. Actually, talking about being on fire, Gods, have you had a prediction wrong all day?
5 for 5.
5 for
Doing
5. Nice.
Yesterday, I don't know. Yesterday was maybe 4 for 4, but that was also secret playing, so made it a bit easier.
Yeah, but this, I mean, this game, why did you already know that VP had the upper hand?
I didn't know. it was a
Don't
very
sell
close
yourself
game,
short.
but I mean, it was one of those things. It's Dota, you know, they're two good teams. I think both teams had drafts that I liked. End of the day, it was a game that was maybe 60-40 VP favored, to me at least, and they struggled their way through it, but they did get the win.
Yeah, it was a strong showing.
Yeah.
Ramsey's Terrorblade was pretty on point.
Having the dazzle behind it was the key thing for me, and I think Black mentioned too. It's like, how do you get to this dazzle? And giving this guaranteed save just made the game so much harder for forward gaming to play.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very popular old school combo for a reason. If you can't get through the dazzle, I mean, you can blow everything you want on a Terrorblade. You're just gonna get graved and then do a 1 HP Sunder, and the team fight's pretty much over from there. But honestly, like, there were some crazy Sunders there. I think
They were.
Yeah.
like 3 times he sundered the real PL. Like Resolution didn't expect it at all. He
No.
he ran at him. He got sundered. He was like, oh crap! And then he tried to run away and just got killed by illusions. That was so funny to see.
It was so impressive.
Yeah,
I feel like this game was one of those games where both teams have like good drafts. They both have win conditions, and just a few unfortunate things went the way of, or like for forward gaming, and they went in the favor of VP. Like where even the stun strike to get the last hit on Roche, like that's like a 2,000 gold swing or something like that. And these Sunders on the illusion or on the main PL, like he died 2 or 3 times because of it. And like those deaths, all of a sudden Terrorblade's level 20, and then PL hasn't hit his level 25 yet, so he doesn't have the reduced doppelganger cooldown, which like is a very impactful part of this matchup. And I mean, I feel like this kind of game is just what I love about Dota, where it just comes down to the little things, both teams playing their game.
This is a pretty big thing. Doppelganger to high ground.
With no Manta.
yeah, that's like the big no-no of PL. You can never doppelganger without Manta up.
Onto a TB.
I am witnessing some theory proving in real life. I think because I just saw Scriff go into the lobby. We see his screen, and he tested it out with PL and Terrorblade. And there apparently is a way to have TB just instantly have the right target.
Wait, what?
If you click on the portrait, maybe. I mean, I didn't see that part, but I did see him then walk over to where Zaori and Trent were. And then now they're having a very excited conversation.
If there's something of this nature, I'd like to know about it. 'Cause I've played this matchup like 30 times on both sides and did not know about that.
It. Yes, please Reddit if there's something.
Yes,
like that.
please, thank you. Because I mean, it's not like you think he's cheating or anything. It's like that was suspect where he just kept getting the right one, and there's like 10 of them.
I mean, he must know something.
Somebody check his mouse, you know, check word.exe.
Yeah, the scripts, please.
What's going on here, guys? But
no. Everything in the game is a feature that is like official statement. And if you just are the first one to find it, then lucky you, right?
If it's in the game.
If it's in the game, yeah.
But yeah, we got game 3, second series in a row.
We do.
I'm very excited.
I think we got what we wanted from VP, right? Also, no one on the better hero for himself.
Yeah,
He
better
actually,
playmaker.
Yeah, had a lot of impact later on.
He did, yeah. It wasn't like the smoothest game from him, but he got there.
He won his lane, very important against the PL. Because that actually made sure that the PL can't run away with the game. Very late defusal for him. Set him back a lot.
Time for Rezo to go practice his PL blocks. We were talking about it in the side room.
that was
PL
rough.
has a third the collision size of like the normal hero, so trying to block with PL in the mid lane, like that was a big part of why he lost the lane. I think because he has PL is stronger level 1 and 2, and he gave Invoker a free level 2 under his own tower. So that can drastically influence a matchup, influence the whole pace of the game. And I was just surprised how VP was able to come back after Axe had such a bad start. We were talking about in the draft how the Undying just completely shuts down the hero. And it felt like the Axe just never had any farm, but yet, I mean, that hero is still super useful.
Yeah, he had 2 heroes that were great follow-ups. So Skywrath and Invoker with Sunstrikes and Mystic Flares. It's something like, oh, this Axe with little farm doesn't need a Blade Mail to kill this person because there's a Mystic Flare on top.
Absolutely.
Or Sunstrike even. That's
a
lot of things.
They found a couple, key pickoffs at various stages. They blew up the PL at least once. They were killing core heroes with it. So just having this guaranteed kill combo worked out really nicely.
Yeah, all in all, a good game for VP. Not totally hopeless from forward gaming as well, and a lot of it goes back to the draft, where we thought that VP had a lot better draft than the first game at least. But with both teams having one win under their belt, this is of course the upper bracket finals for Group D. One more game will decide which one of these two teams will be secured in the upper bracket for the main event, a spot that you really want to be in, because otherwise you will, well, first you have to play again today, which is, you know, it's going to be a long day for you. Second, if you don't make it in that game, you're all of a sudden lower bracket best of one. Yikes, that was not where you want to go. Let's find out what's going to happen in the third game after the break. It was a false alarm. No one was just, rather Ramses was just that good in using his Sunder. We checked the replay, and that was basically it. There were some Manta-style timings just a little bit before and cast animations and whatnot, but basically he's just really good. The bottom line, welcome back, Kuala Lumpur Major, and you're joining us in the middle of the upper bracket finals of Group D, and that is another 3-game series for this group, which means that Forward and Virtus.pro are both having a 1 game, and the question is which one of these 2 teams will be done for the day after the next game and will be in that upper bracket for the main event, and that question will be answered in the upcoming game. We're going to talk about that game also with Black Gods and Brian BSJ. Game 3, we've seen both teams win once, and you've always sided with Forward.
Yeah.
You'd still want to do that here, as in, you know, you've seen them lose now as well. You know, they are beatable.
It's a pretty even series, honestly.
It is.
I feel like
yes.
we've been saying it the whole time. Feels like it could go either way, but I believe in this team in terms of they looked pretty good at overall, like coming into the season, like meaning last season. And then coming into this one, and then they added, as we mentioned, they upgraded from Snake King to Universe. And despite some of the things I feel like I've heard about how like the scrims have been going and everything, I am impressed with like the potential of this team and like how far players like Yawar have come in the last 6 months. So I'm rooting for NA always because
there's no shame in rooting for a team. Yeah. That's why all these people at home are watching, because they're rooting for a team.
Exactly.
VP's also won a lot. If you're a fan out there who doesn't have a side,
they're like
VP,
the Lakers.
Yeah. You know, VP don't need more wins.
Yeah, we don't need to see
Forward
them
gaming, new kids on the block. Sure for those guys.
I don't know, you guys. I kind of feel like VP are sure they've won a lot in the last season. But I also like them being on the top of their game, because they're just so fun to watch when they do well. And right now, they won, but when they lose, they just look so sad.
And when VP win, it's flashy, it's fun. They're tipping people. They're playing cocky. They are like the Lakers. They're a fun team to chear for and be a fan of. So consider VP then as well.
Yes.
If you want to get behind a fun team.
I'm a VP fan. She got me.
They've been one of my favorite teams over the last 2 or 3 years, because when they are dominant, like they had that period 2 years ago during the old Major system where it was like the Darkseer Slardar combos where they were just like the kings of team fights and no one could beat them with this Pasha Darkseer. They've just always been a very exciting team to watch.
Yeah. Black, in the meantime, there's also been, we're going to have a quick update from Group C.
Yeah.
What's happening,
And what's happening there, it's a good thing we're not covering that group, because it's just one-sided matches all round.
LGD is beasting through.
They are.
Yeah. Unstoppable. Apparently the games against Fnatic were like completely lopsided as well. I didn't expect it at all. I thought it would be like a very evenly contested matchup. I guess LGD is just back.
I got word that FY was playing like a beast, playing some support centaurs, all kinds of
FY
fun
is
heroes.
You know, FY is always FY.
I feel like the China region, like especially like the elite teams, have always been known to like fall off a bit right after TI. Like for whatever reason, they do like really well at TI, and then like they maybe take a little break or whatever.
Or long break.
Like people were telling me like going into this like, yeah, like we'll just have to see about LGD, and I'm like, I don't know, they look pretty damn good at TI, and they haven't seemed to lose a beat here. So
yeah, they got their drafter back with them, of course, which was missing earlier on in the season when they had a bit of a lackluster tournament, but they seem so scary, especially considering the fact that Fnatic is, I mean, to be honest, PSG LGD made Fnatic look weak. And that is a tough thing to do, because Fnatic coming into this tournament looks very strong.
This Fnatic roster, too, looks like one of the scariest SCA rosters I've ever seen, too.
It's like a superstar team, right, basically?
Yeah, exactly. And it's a superstar team where it doesn't feel like there's too much greed. Like, MP is one of those players who's been criticized in the past, but he's the kind of player you need so you're not like this super greedy lineup. Like, if you had like a Raven or someone, I think this lineup doesn't work. But I think they have a lot of potential. But they're still a new team. Whereas LGD,
true.
You know, they have that roster stability. They've been playing together for so long. They trust each other. They know each other. It makes a big difference. But
you know what? This match is now, whoever wins does not have to face PSG LGD instantly.
That's a...
I mean, that's a win.
Something worth playing for.
Yeah.
I think it's a big factor to have to play another series today. A third BO3 in one day. You have to wait for that Alliance Pain-X series to end. And by that point, you know, you've been awake for a long time. It's likely Alliance who look very scary. They took a game off VP. I think Alliance could easily, you know, contest that second slot in the winner bracket.
Yeah, I don't even think whoever loses this is guaranteed to go upper brackets, let alone, like, you know, you get to avoid playing against LGD. You're just not even guaranteed. You could be in the best of ones if you lose this game. So that's a lot on the line for one game.
It really is. It really is, and we are in the draft, so we're gonna see if any adjustments are being made. We still have we have the axe ban again because previous game it was of course let through, and Enigma Io is still banned, Tiny Morph still banned, Bane banned.
They love their ogre first pick.
Ogre time.
Necro
Magnus.
Necro Phoenix were banned previous game, both still in the pool.
Seems whoever has first pick, the other team just feels like they have to ban Io and Enigma. Because last game it was forward banning these heroes, that when VP had first pick. And similar with the Axe, it seems like if you don't have first pick, you ban Axe.
Mag over Ogre this time.
Damn.
Wow, that's a bold first pick. Generally, you wait to pick the core because like last time they picked Mag, they picked it because of the Terrorblade. You pick the core in response to whatever their core is. It's pretty ballsy to open up a core. I don't know if Mag's hit that point where he's like good enough to do this, but
maybe they have some idea of putting him in position 4
Support,
possibly.
yeah.
I also think it says that they're worried VP might steal the hero in the first two.
okay.
They could.
And
Partial plays a good Mag.
Yeah.
Virtus.pro.
And will VP stick with TB? They will. So 3 games in a row. Forward again, like game 1, have the Magnus there to deal with.
Carry Dream.
Do they go the Silencer to counter the Phoenix?
Sounds as very weak against TB though.
Whatever happened to Phoenix Tree? Everybody was picking Phoenix Tree combo for a while.
Yeah.
I would say my crude take on that is it's a tier 2 team strat.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I mean,
think
I
it's
guess
like-
I was watching the minor, so there you go.
It's like
Some of those teams are kind of like tier 4, you know, as well.
I don't know how you guys
Not
feel. That's
naming
just-
anybody.
No,
in
no, no.
particular.
It
From-
was in Hamburg as well, though.
Yeah, it's like something these teams do that's ease of execution's there. It's simple, it's straightforward. It wins you team fights and it'll win you games. It's not complicated, it's not fancy, but the top teams, there's better stuff out there and there's ways to counter it.
I also think Trient is more. It's like a lot stronger against like weaker teams on paper because they don't know how to play against them. They won't buy 2 sentries. They won't cut the trees with quelling blades or abilities, and then Trient has just a way bigger impact than he would have in this kind of game. They do go back to the Ogre as well. Double buff all day. It's very scary. You don't even have to pick a melee here with that. Even a Morphling with Empower and Bloodlust can like devastate a team.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ranged heroes against Phoenix, like the Mirana,
Yeah.
the Linas that can like be empowered and do a lot of damage with right clicks.
Yeah, of course, it throws the auto ban.
Do they
Phoenix.
finally
Yeah.
ban the Mirana, though? Because that was 4th pick 2 games in a row, and it seems like a key hero for forward gaming.
But
Then they have to choose between Mirana and Monkey King.
yeah, I think a lot of teams actually don't really consider Mirana too strongly. You know.
Yeah, but it's more like where this series is at right now, I think you consider it.
Yeah,
Because
I mean, I would agree. It's
You
just
also have Phoenix. Like
a lot of
you
people
need-
just think the hero is just average, not very strong at all. But forward
Yeah.
shows that in their hands is really strong.
Yeah.
Very flexible for
I
them
think,
as well.
I think we kind of feel it's average, but for forward, it just
Yeah, I mean-
they're the best team at using it.
Yeah.
Solo looks a lot more awake now than this morning.
Yep.
He's like, shit, we're in, elimination game. Whew, what's going on here? 6 games in a row, potentially 3 more if we lose this one.
That looks like the face of, I don't want to play another best of 3. Let's just go
That
ahead and
Let's
end our
just
game.
win
Start
this
at like
one.
9, 10
Yeah.
p.m., like
Yeah, at
that
this
could go
rate.
late.
Virtus.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day for whoever has to play another series here today.
They do ban the Mirana. I
Yep.
feel like Lina looks really good for forward gaming. I think Virtus.pro needs to make sure they consider it with these 2 picks. Like, don't pick 2 heroes that are also bad versus Lina. Because against Terrorblade, the burst, and then attack speed for the egg.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen a decent amount of off-lane Linas too. So that's
Mhm.
something where it's good in lane against Terrorblade. It's worth considering as well.
I mean, offlane support, we've seen it here like
Yeah.
everywhere.
Speaking of heroes that are good against the egg, isn't Weaver one of them as well that we
Yes.
see fairly often?
Yeah, Weaver's nice. It's a hero that like doesn't die to Phoenix, and it's also like decent against the egg.
The
but-
issue is like I guess you could do Mag Weaver as a dual lane, like 3-4 position, but I think you're looking at a melee core to go with Magnus, like the carry, so you don't want like a safe lane Weaver this game.
I feel like Weaver's gotten significantly worse with all the nerfs, and I feel like he's a hero kind of like Mirana now that like only certain teams really like picking up. A lot of teams just ignore him entirely.
I think you're better off just sticking to the Shaman. The
Yeah.
Shamans look
Yeah.
really good. Even in their loss just then, the hero still posed a big threat.
Dazzle again.
That was the one hero I really thought forward would ban, because that was the hero that enabled TB last game. And
But this time, they're probably going to address it better than the last game. The silencer is still in the pool, and we spoke about it's a potential
they want to
way to counter
They want
him.
more of a true 4 position. I think Silencer Ogre doesn't
like
sound
that
like
support duo.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like
Yeah.
what Ford would want to do.
They need a playmaker on like Earth Spirit type hero.
I just want a hero to actually be able to reach the Dazzle. Otherwise, you can RP the Terrorblade all you want. If you can't reach the Dazzle, you won't kill him.
Mhm.
That's always the problem with Dazzle. If you can't reach him, he's actually considered very, very, very strong.
Yeah, I like the Shakers, the Earth Spirits, like these like 4 positions that jump you. I feel like are the best option against the Dazzle, Terrorblade.
But it's not only that, right? It's also Dazzle.
Yeah, you have the Shaman again though.
Dazzle against the Ogre and Magnus is also really good with the Weave. Earth Shaker.
Both teams know what they want.
Yeah, they do.
It's going to be a core, Shaker, or Phoenix.
It actually feels like Ford kind of considers Shadow Shaman like a counter to TB. Every time there's a TB, they always pick Shaman.
I mean, in
Even
the
though
past,
those are
it was
both
Shaman
ways.
Lion were like the 2 heroes that were, at least allowed you to burst and kill a TB.
Mm-hmm.
I
Get
like
rid of
the-
those illusions real fast.
I mean, TB only counts Shaman to the extent he clears out the wards.
Yeah, like,
I
other than
think
that, there's nothing else.
you're not really picking Shaman for the Serpent boards. Like in Pro Dota, I feel like most of the time those Serpent boards are going down when your push is secure. You're not just putting them in a risky place to feed gold away.
And I think Shaker is also a really good response because you can actually stop that shackle from
That's
a
what I
very
was
long
thinking
distance.
too. Yeah.
So time for Ford to start revealing their hand a bit with the UR Rezo heroes.
Could be an offlane Shaker too, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
well, either he or Phoenix is a core.
Yeah.
I
If
think-
it's a support Shaker, I want like a very aggressive hero for no one middle that can actually kill with a Shaker, if they go that route.
I mean, earlier today, it was Virtus.pro that had to suffer through Boxy's Earthshaker that went basically
Ags
treads
first.
Ags.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty scary, so maybe they were going to take a page out of their book.
Then you've got both Fissure and the Totem to stop the shackles.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
It was pretty
That's-
strong.
I'm liking the sounds of that.
Mm-hmm.
Going forward one. And they go back to the Monkey, or the Lena's probably, if they really want that for UR, they may feel like, we just got to pick this while it's still in the pool.
Monkey doesn't seem as strong in this game though.
Phoenix is really nice against Monkey King, especially
Yeah.
in the laning stage.
And so is Dazzle, honestly.
They have been prioritizing Rezo's heroes last.
Yeah, but when you first pick, it doesn't really matter too much, like when you pick it.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
Because you don't have the
yeah.
last pick.
Howie just summed it up well. Usually, when it comes to these 2 heroes, it's just whatever hero you think is more important to that you can't afford to have banned. Like you're
Mhm.
thinking you're gonna pick your 2 heroes in a row.
Arc
they go-
Warden.
Ooh, like an Arc
Oh.
The
Warden.
TB theoretical counter.
And the clone counts as a hit for the egg,
Yep.
so you can actually kill the egg with your clone.
And it's a possible way to actually reach a Dazzle too. If he goes Blink Dagger on Arc Warden, he can like Blink Hex, Blink Orchid, whatever he wants to do.
I like that pick a lot.
Mhm.
They lack gap close on Virtus.pro, and even though you have this Earthshaker hero, usually you need like more than just that for an Arc Warden. So that's what we need to look to pick, I think, for VP last.
Yeah. Not the best target for Empower though. He has very low base damage.
They'll give him a target, I'm assuming. That's kind of what they did last time, right? They picked the Mirana 4th, and then they picked their Empower target last.
What does Yawar play that really benefits from Empower and Bloodlust? Because Mirana's out. That's like his premier hero.
Oh, they banned the Weaver.
And it may just be a case where they're not picking a hero to be empowered for the AoE cleave aspect. It may just be like,
Yeah,
It'll look
could
like
be.
one of
Mags
the
could
pubs
be out.
where you just first pick Mag, and then none of your cores
Yeah.
pick melee heroes.
Jabata.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm like thinking they've banned a lot of the standard ones. Like they could still just pick PL again, I think, but that'd be really greedy.
Yeah. And against the Shaker, it's not the best. It's okay.
Yeah, nothing seems like perfect out of all the melee
Mhm.
heroes. Like Monkey King, we talked about, looks a little rough this game too. Maybe like a Wraith King could be good.
Raven could be good. I thought Storm might be good, but it would be so damn greedy as well.
I want like a more active hero. Like that's why I mentioned Wraith King. I feel like Arc Warden, you kind of delegated him to farming all mid game.
You guys a bit scared about the Dazzle again? It's gonna be very hard to reach him again, I feel.
How
We
about
got
the Ursa too? Ursa
No one
against
in
the egg.
Band.
It's not good, but
That kind of indicates an Arc Warden middle for me, because Invoker destroys an Arc Warden middle 1v1. It's a very hard matchup.
Well, they don't have a lot of time left here in
Yep.
their bonus time, which, by the way, Virtus.pro has plenty of. Still 1.5 minutes
They
there.
never take a lot of time
it's
before
pretty
they
easy
pick.
to draft when you're drafting against the same heroes as you did last.
Fair enough, fair
I'm
enough.
just- I mean, obviously they picked the Arc Warden, but that's only because Mirana was banned.
And they rounded out with an Ember
Spirit.
Spirit.
Oh, I like
Huh.
that pick actually.
Wow, but VP can
They can punish it though.
hard, yeah.
It gets on top of Dazzle. Gives a. I think they really have recognized that Dazzle was a problem from last game.
Huskar?
Huskar is potentially a strong hero, but they have Arc Warden. There's They could pick Monkey themselves. No one played it.
10 seconds remaining.
Monkey is really good against Ember in lane.
5
I feel if they pick
seconds
Monkey, Ember has no lane to go to.
Yeah.
Even
No.
against the safe lane Shaker, I mean off-lane Shaker, Ember feels very bad.
No one is one of those players who has played the mid shaker before too.
Yeah, that's a
Against
possibility.
Ember. I don't think it
I've
matchups.
won.
It's
So-
it's Earthshaker favorite, but it's not like you absolutely dumpster the lane.
This seems like a really good Ember game, but like you guys have said, I actually really fear for the laning stage of this Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
And since you have Arc Warden, I feel like this Ember is like responsible for doing making all the plays in the mid game. And if he has a rough start, there won't be any space for Arc Warden Mag to make use of.
Yeah, but no one definitely wants like some kind of catch hero. Like, even the Storm is a possibility. He will definitely have a good lane this game if they want to go that route.
Yeah. I mean, he could pull out the Lina himself as well.
Lina, yeah.
I'm going for the 5th prediction of Kunkka again. I think it's still pretty good.
I personally always feel though Ember Spirit is very strong against Kunkka. In lane as well as in like just the
Oh,
game
is
in
it?
general.
Okay, okay.
Let's see if Virtus.pro agrees with that. Looks like
Come on, no one. What are
forward
you
is
thinking?
ready. With their headsets
Alchemist,
on,
actually.
with their game face on.
I just realized Alchemist looks really
I
good.
think Alk with TB is
For V-
not too greedy.
I don't think it is
I
this
mean,
game.
not against Aquan and Ember. I
Not-
feel.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, yeah, I actually think Alchemist could be a really game-winning pick here.
He's probably gonna free farm against either of those.
Even with
just
the
done
Magnus
too.
is a slow hero as well, so.
Using all their bonus
I mean,
time.
there's so many things they could do.
Yeah, it feels like there's 5+.
Ooh, Visage.
I've
That was
never
my
s-
next guess.
I've never
Yeah,
seen
same.
no one play this hero.
I was gonna say Visage next.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
Eventually, I would have listed all the heroes off. We gave them,
Alright,
gave us a long
I feel like they're
enough-
going just for some like 20-minute game here. Like that's Visage. Anytime you can pick Visage and end the game in 20 minutes, that's perfect. And with TB, you can get some early
It's
drums, Yasha, and just.
Do you guys
forward.
like it?
very,
Okay.
very tough against Aquan though, right? If he ever gets like the bubble out, you actually don't.
Well, your birds can get inside, I guess. Your birds are
Yeah.
more or less melee.
What do you think, Black? You're up first.
It's like a. I mean, I just feel like VP. I said at the beginning is a better team for me. And the drafts look very even, so I think I'm just gonna go with VP. I don't know though. It's like very 50-50 for me.
I'm a big Visage spammer. This is a great Visage game. You got a lane you can play. One of this hero hard counter Shaman. This is like my favorite hero to play against Shadow Shaman. You cancel all his spells. You kill his Serpent Woods with birds. I've never seen no one play the hero, but I believe this guy's good Dota. So
Sticking with
VP.
the boys.
VP. VP.
I also played
Trying to be
Visage
good.
once or twice, and I feel like this looks like a good Visage game. I feel like my strat was to outgreed them, but their strats like outpace this
Yeah.
greedy lineup from forward, and I think they will. I think Visage is
Oh,
one of the
wow.
strongest heroes for that. So
You're-
I'm gonna go
oh,
for VP.
You're going anti-NA?
I'm going VP.
Ooh.
All right.
I'm trying to follow my head, not my heart, as you said earlier.
It's great against
It
Magnus
didn't
too.
work for me though.
I am very curious to hear what Zero and Trent think about that. We have an entire panel going the way of VP. Even BSJ
Wow, even
goes for
BSJ.
forward, and then you know, goes for
Ah.
sorry VP. Then you know it's bad.
Am I the only one that has some faith in the Resolution Arc Warden here?
Yeah,
Okay.
think so.
I
Yeah.
guess
Seems
so.
so.
this game
You're not
looks-
on my team either, Trent?
No, I mean, it's pretty hard to out-greed, I think, Arc Warden, Magnus, and Ember, so I kind of agree with the idea of why would we try and fight greed with greed? Why don't we just end the
Okay.
game? Why don't we pick some Visage Dota? He never used to get to play it because of Lil, but he's out of here, so now
Yeah,
no
right.
one gets to play
Yeah.
the Visage.
There we
Let's
go.
see how this goes.
All right, let's see how this goes. Indeed, good luck with that one, guys.
Thank you, Sheever. All right, let's hop in here, Trent. I'm excited for this one. This is a big decider. A lot of eyeballs on Ramses playing Terrorblade again after that incredible performance in the last game over the PL. We went back and looked, and it really was just incredible performance. No trickery, no shenanigans.
No
He's just
hacks.
damn good.
Yeah, he just did a great job of...
We scanned his keyboard. Turns out it's all clear.
Yeah, it seems everything's A-okay. No, a lot of those fights, it was just, like one time it was he'd already precast the Sunder, and then the Manta happened, but the Manta doesn't stop the spell, so he still followed through onto the correct one, so that's kind of irritating, I'm sure, for poor Rezo, but that's all right. It's a new game, and Rezo has a new hero in the Arc Warden, who's already received quite a few tips. I think a 5-man tip just came out there on the little Rezo, so great start to your game there.
A couple of hearts also being exchanged in all chat there, both sides. Positive morale here. It's been a pretty epic series thus far, Trent. Hoping for this exciting ender. Talk to me about Ember Spirit a little bit, though. You've been whispering in my ear all day. This looks like a great Ember Spirit game. I think Ember Spirit, we finally get to see it. Do you have the confidence in this one?
Well, every game, it's pretty easy to point that out when there's a Terrorblade.
Yeah,
Every
okay.
2 seconds.
Okay, fair.
TB or PL, so that he's kind of been a go-to. But yeah, every one of those games, I'm just looking at him like, oh, but there's this one stun, and oh, there's this and there's that. And even in this game, there is Ember, who's a little scary to play against as an Ember. Like, you're trying to farm these waves, you're always stuck in the middle of them, you just get blown up. It happens like at least twice a game, I feel like. It's a guarantee of playing Ember versus Earth Chick. You just have to kind of accept that. But I wasn't too worried about the laning stage because it looked pretty clear that he'd have to be on the side lane. He definitely couldn't go mid. If you're giving up a 10th pick to the enemy hero, you can't like guarantee that that's going to be for an Ember mid, right? Unless you're maybe going to dual lane him or something. But he will be on the side lane for you are, and then they're going to have Rezo in the mid on the Arc Warden as he usually is, and once more he'll be joined by MSS. This was the successful strat in game 1, and they're going to try and quickly put some bully onto this Visage.
Yep. Now see supports maybe rotating in right now. SVG and Solo exchanging blows in the jungle. SVG looking to grab this creep wave, I think, if he can snag it.
Ring around the rosy here.
Maybe not.
Oh. This slow actually kind of ruins it for him.
It's pretty hard. That poison touch, 14% slow is just enough that he can't grab onto the creeps.
Oh, he's so fast too.
Is he just gonna die? I was saying the same thought where this is the fear of Dazzle.
Oh, he tangles it so he can't get fogged. He can keep the slow going.
And now the TP. Okay.
Oh, it's true. That's a pretty good option to have against the Dazzle.
Victory for Solo. Yeah, they've changed poison touch a little bit. If only it was that old poison touch, although it would have taken a few more levels for that stun to kick in, I guess. But either way, good start here for VP. Looking at our other lanes, we've got Universe up top, all Solo right now on that Magnus. And it is going to be the Solo Visage mid for now. They're not going to rotate another support and just let no one basically get zoned out for these first couple waves.
Yeah, all 3 heroes are the same XP, but this wave's pushing it onto no one, so we should be able to take a little bit of an edge here. And MSS happy to keep on slapping him down, though. Basically, they're trying to double deny him right now by using the ridiculously high base damage, but they're not winning. No one is still getting last hits despite 2 heroes attempting to deny him.
Yeah. I always get nervous when I see a Visage in a game like this. He feels like a hero that is so strong so early, but I feel like I've cast a lot of Visage games where he can't quite close it out, then loses that momentum, and all of a sudden what feels like a win goes the opposite way. A lot of pressure on VP to actually close this out in a timely manner.
He is just, he's such an obnoxious hero, though. At like 25 minutes, if he had just kind of an okay game, suddenly he feels unkillable.
Yes.
A stupid Gravekeeper's Cloak gets so difficult to handle.
But it requires a degree of perfection in terms of execution, where if you make those missteps at that timing, you can fall off
for sure.
very
it's very Drow-esque kind of deal where it's like, sure, you build up a little bit of a lead and you start hitting this tier 3 really early on, but one step too far and maybe you just throw the whole game. But once more, we'll have the Dazzle TB lane. And this time they're being way more aggressive than the previous games.
Solo was tanking some tower shots there, but Roger comes in with a nice fissure to break things up. You are with the Flame Guard on, just trying to find some last hits here. SVG hit by a poison. Oh, no, never mind. Not hit by a poison. That was just an auto attack. Okay, no first blood despite the aggressive movements with now 3 heroes in the bottom lane for VP. So that's going to leave Pasha solo on the Phoenix up here.
It's got a wave, though.
Haven't mentioned it, but core Phoenix. We've seen a lot of support Phoenixes, but this is a 3 Phoenix here.
Yeah, I think... Oh, we were expecting one earlier, right? But then we ended up getting the core Shaker instead during the Alliance game.
Yes,
so.
correct.
But advantages, already it looks like a pretty good Phoenix game. There's not really any good egg killers. The best one would be the Arc Warden and the Clone. And if that's a support, that's probably enough. But when it's the core Phoenix, he gets the levels a lot faster, can itemize quicker into like a Shiva's Guard or something to help prevent the attack speed, and should give you good eggs. It's not a guarantee, of course. It comes down to the positioning of Rezo, but it's all on him. And nice Fissure in the mid lane actually just canceled to go on to no one. Broke up a shackle.
Yep.
And he secures an Arcane Rune for himself.
But another scenario here where Universe is going to have a lane where he's going to be able to farm no one. Is this going to be the first blood? Spark Wraith chases him down, and Resolution gets the bonus goal.
Level 1, still enough damage. Just barely. I think that was like the
really
exact
close.
amount of damage needed. 100 damage, 75 each. Oh, it's a Visage. Can't forget about that little hero. Of course, has some terrible magic resistance.
Universe almost in trouble up top, but able to skewer over there. Will make it back to his tower. Radiant scans here, looking for someone lurking nearby. Not going to trigger anything. SVG down bottom again, up to some shenanigans. Trying to get this creep wave back.
Pre-bloodlust. Let's go, guys.
Need that movement speed. I don't have booties.
That's a sad ogre. Nothing but a stout.
Yep.
Oh, no. My arch nemesis.
It's that Dazzle, Shadow Priest. But now MSS is here, and Dazzle will get brought down. Only level 3, no point in the Shallow Grave. You put 2 points in poison. Wouldn't have saved him there anyway. Good crowd controls from MSS.
That didn't seem fair. 2-on-1 there.
No, it definitely was not.
So Universe looks like he's going to get off to a pretty nice start again, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of the drawback to this lane up here. Roger has rotated back up, and even these two heroes, they can't really stop Universe from snagging those last hits and controlling the waves pretty well. I guess Fissure does break things up a little bit, but whoa, Universe, he finds a free pick on Pasha. And it's a wasted shrine.
And he used the shrine, too.
Oh, no.
Not even having vision.
That's just a good heads-up play. Meanwhile, bottom, Yawar will be able to secure that kill onto Ramses as he gets left alone. Yawar barely lives.
That's 4-0 now. Suddenly some 2 pretty big kills.
Yeah. Great game sense from Universe, though, to be in the right place at the right time. Just doubles down knowing that they wasted the shrine on that.
And now he could even potentially go for another kill here with the RP, depending on like how much HP Pasha uses and if he can watch with the Icarus dive. But again, more pressure on the no one. Like even if they don't get this kill, like they're gonna force out another salve, and they can't really turn around here.
Pull another rotation from Roger, and Roger actually going to be in some trouble. MSS with a lot of shackle, but resolution in too deep. As Solo now makes the rotation. It's Virtus.pro that get their first kill up on the board.
For the record, they had vision there. That was a really weird go. Like there is a dire observer up on that high ground that kind of saw that those heroes were still hanging around there.
Right.
I'm really surprised they still tried to go for that shackle kill onto Roger, because like they forced back for the salve onto no one, and I was like, oh, but they can't turn, right? Because no one can't turn around and get a kill because it would take way too long. But they just stood there. And then of course the rotation from Solo is what really tipped it with the shadow poison. But I keep saying shadow poison with the poison touch.
Poison touch. He's not.
We'll get Shadow Demon eventually.
I know. It's confusing. Shadow Priest, Shadow Demon, all sorts of poisons.
Shadow Shaman.
Nether Realms. Universe up top. Be just fine. Skewer across the fissure. Definitely knows his limits here. Been a little bit of a tough laning phase for Roger. Feels like an Earthshaker without a home, where he kind of wants to be top to pressure Universe, but forced to rotate mid to try to make some space for no one.
Yeah, it's not really a lane he can play in. At the same time, it's like a dual lane mid, so the problem is that you can't do anything in a dual lane mid scenario. You just be sucking away from your Phoenix. But Egg comes in right on top of them. Very bold, but with the Fire Spirits, they don't have an answer.
MSS goes down.
Oh my god, Pasha!
Resolution on the run. They're going to be able to bring him down. He's out of options. Only level 5, and he is dead. The immediate tip from no one. 3-4. VP striking back hard.
A Phoenix that got solo killed at a shrine by the enemy, like 1v1 situation. What a comeback for Pasha.
Oh, Solo goes in a little too far. He's going to hand one over to forward. It's unfortunate.
Roger?
Shackles pretty good against Grave. Roger on the way in. They want to finish off Yawar, and he will get it.
He just gets pushed in the worst spot. Buys his soul ring, even if he goes down here, but there's no mango on this ogre. There's no fire blast.
And he's still going to die. They've got enough damage. It's Resolution joining the party. Rezo also going Necronomicon. First item.
The farming Necro. That's what we saw last time too. Just goes Necro and then into Midas and then...
Seems to be the build. Mid lane now, Yawar initiated on by no one. Follow up Fissure. There's your Sleight of Fist. They will be forced to back up, seeing MSS make that rotation. They'll get a freebie on the bird. That's kind of nice. 100 gold bounty right there.
Instantly tipped. They're having a good time. So is that both birds down? I don't see the other one.
Looks like it, unless it's scouting around somewhere.
Script's on the hunt. Seems to be dead.
Yeah, going to be 60 seconds till the familiars come back. And it looks like Helm of the Dominator going to be the choice for Visage here.
Yeah, Pasha.
Not an item you see too often.
Yeah,
Mid
definitely
lane.
the Visage hero though. I mean that's his item.
Yep.
He's the only one. Him and like.
So does anyone else
Enigma,
build that item?
That's not even Enigma that much anymore, honestly. But Darkseer, still core on Darkseer, I would say.
Lycan?
Yeah, Lycan's cool too. We like.
I hesitate just to say Lycan in general.
I heard it didn't go too well for Sylar last night. Sounded like the Sylar Lycan even losing a game. So that's how you know the hero's got to be in trouble.
Yeah, I didn't catch that one, but I heard rumors
we were
about
all
it
in
this
bed
morning at breakfast.
while Owen fought to stay up.
Oh, those poor boys.
Roger being chased away behind the tower while Universe just keeps slamming into it. This big, jacked up Magnus, that Bloodlust. Terrifying hammer, really. I mean, this thing is just gyrating.
His whole set is pretty scary, I'm going to be honest.
Down bottom.
Ramses.
And just to secure a bounty.
Oh, nice, but it does go into the Tempest double.
All right, so how is it this guy can find the right PL and yet he sunders the Arc Warden clone? Riddle me that. That's what I want to know.
I have no explanation for that one. I think that was just, I need to survive. What's the closest target?
Yeah.
Getting the hell out of here.
I'm just kidding. The real one was at a rage.
Oh, okay.
It was just fun.
Well, he lives.
He survives. Thank goodness that Terrorblade lives. I mean, I would hate for this hero to lose a game and then never see him again. What would our lives be like without TB in every match?
We can only dream. A world without tuberculosis. No one does have his Helm of the Dominator. The HOTD.
Yeah. And that means the double catapults at the 10 minutes. The question is, will someone come to help him? And the answer is yes. Pasha is ready, willing to dive in there with an egg. They want these catapults on the high ground. And Universe will RP the 2 catapults. Doesn't look like that'll be the solution, it turns out. That's weird.
Here's the aggressive glyph to make sure this will work. And that's a easy tier 1 tower kill now for
and
VP.
Instantly pinged top. Like, that wave is close. The catapult is a moving. Get me up there.
Down bottom, though, Forward Gaming will grab an objective of their own. Rost Awards deployed. At level 1, Necronomicon put to good use. They will go 1 for 1 in terms of towers. Question now is, will Forward rotate up top to defend this tier 1 that is soon to be taking some pretty heavy damage?
Like, once Arc Warden commits into a lane with like these Necros and stuff, he doesn't really do anything if he comes top.
True.
I mean, maybe if the Spark Rates are good enough, that can be enough of a deterrent, but at this point, I think this tower is just forfeit.
Yeah, I think you're right. They're going to let it go. It'll end up being a 2 for 1 tower trade. Maybe they can get another objective or a kill in mid. Pasha left alone, getting surrounded by enemy heroes, but
no Hex here, so MSS just has to go for the walk A strat.
Yeah, not so easy. Phoenix going to be able to outrange that one. Meanwhile, the top tier 1 does fall.
At least they kept the catapult alive bottom for a little while, so they get about a quarter of the tower there, Rezo, so slight win.
Any idea why Ramses is .clown at the end of his name? Is there any
he's clowning.
Explanation? He's just clowning on fools, that's it?
I mean, that's his life.
Straight clowning?
All right, how he lives it.
Clown
Wants
shoes?
everyone to know. Roger, speaking of living, not doing that so much. Wow, they
RP.
actually commit the RP. I mean, sure, I'm down. I'm like a happy Earthshaker right now.
Yeah. I guess, no.
I think it's because he skewered in, so they don't have a Hex, so I guess he thinks that...
I don't know when VP used this smoke exactly, but I think they were just worried that there could be reinforcements coming. MSS is going to tank that smoke gank.
So fast.
But down bottom, they're going to go in onto Ramses. No Sunder this time for the TB. They'll get brought down.
Now that is a good return kill. With these Necros here, this tower should be going down, and shockingly, it is not the the Visage is the one jungling, and this Ember and Arc Warden are taking towers.
Yeah.
So
Glyph comes out.
A big win. Pasha feels like he hasn't had an impact in a little while. He's not been able to find like another play with the egg. He's still trying to build up in towards this Midas. He's just Sunraying. Just checking out the high ground there. Like, are they up here?
Yep. But yeah, I think up top they were just worried that Earthshaker might be bait. So
yeah, for sure. And then like he could have just TP'd. So you probably have to use the RP anyway.
Just make it a quick kill, no mucking around.
Yeah.
Let's not roll the dice.
They didn't end up getting that tower though. Like even with all the Spark Wraiths put down, it didn't feel safe enough. Probably going to be the correct call in the bottom lane there for forward, but
they do force a glyph though. Minor victory and getting close to that Midas on the Arc Warden.
Man, this is such a win more lineup from the Radiant though. Like if you just get 2 kills, somehow it happens. Maybe throw down an egg and let's say Rezo and Universe die. They can just instantly take Roche, or they can instantly take a tier 2 and potentially even a tier 3 between Metamorphosis and a Visage Medallion with the birds, with the helm. It can all just fall apart so quickly for you.
Absolutely agreed there. MSS up to the same trickery again. Stacked up some Ancients, deployed the wards. Gets him close to level 9. A little extra gold going his way.
The Radiant did see it, though, as they have an Observer blocking the Ancients.
Oh, there it is. It'll get taken out. And Rost Awards will despawn. Now VP maybe thinking they can take something in the pit without the Rost Awards available. Still a little early, though. They can't kill Roche that fast.
Look at Solo.
Trying to make some space for the team. He will go down. This feels very risky for Virtus.pro, though. Forward, they're going to charge right into the pit. There's the RP. Connects on one and a couple of birds, but it's a great setup. Dunk from Roger. Does get the return kill onto Universe, but they've lost no one. Yawar trying to survive. Clipped by the Supernova. Resolution in retreat. He's got the Tempest double behind. Forward Gaming have lost 2. Not the ideal fight, but they do intercept the Roche, and now back in onto the Terrorblade. Necronomicon units joining the party just to despawn. Okay. SVG blocked out. Bird flying overhead.
The Bird scouting. He's just dead.
Connects with the stun on the stone form. Will have to let himself go.
Man, that was your blink, essentially your blink reveal. Like, that was your first big fight with the blink dagger from the side of Forward Gaming. And look at that damage from this Earthshaker. That is an Earthshaker without blink. Wow. That's ridiculous. Yeah. I actually thought he had blink when that happened, but unless I'm mistaken, I think he might have got RP'd and skewered in there.
I think the RP only hit Visage and Birds.
Well, then I don't know how he got in there. Because that was my only explanation. So,
because I thought it was a better RP than it was, then I realized that it was just a bunch of familiars.
It was really close to getting Ramses too,
yeah.
Which of course could have helped turn things, but they were just close to a couple item timings. It looked like on the Dire too.
They do stop the Roche, though, and now Rasta Wards have come back, and they're going to be able to take this Tier 1. No Glyph, because they did use it to save the Tier 2 down bottom. Phoenix jumps in, gets crowd controlled. Shallow Grave will buy him some time. Icarus Dive is available.
Oh, that last click. Oh, not enough damage.
Is he going to live? Remnant forward. Yawar wants this, but a nice fissure stops him dead in his tracks.
Oh, he goes through. He misses the shockwave. Universe on the high ground.
Universe, can he do it? Ring around the Rosie. Universe not going to win this one. Ramsey's now trying to chase back SVG.
Yawar, he's almost dead to the birds.
Oh, what a disaster for Forward. No one's going to be able to chase down Yawar, it looks like. Fiery bolas, but look at that Dark Troll Summoner. He's in hot pursuit.
Oh, the Fisher Roger. This guy is finding everything right now.
SVG was able to survive. He moved into the trees. Still 20 seconds until his TP's up, though. Risky business. Is he going to get this kill on the Terrorblade, though?
Sunder.
You need to Sunder. He's got the Shrine. Okay.
Oh, look, it's Roger. Again, cleaning up for everyone's mistakes.
The mop and bucket. SVG looking for a neutral deny, perhaps. Wild Wing Rippers. Not going to be much help. Good stuff for VP. 10-10. They've found the advantage.
That is at least one benefit of spamming Ogre. So you get that chat line. You might have lost your soul, but...
Universe going for Crimson Guard this game on the Magnus. Great to have against the Visage and Terrorblade.
Yeah, excellent item.
I love how Universe itemizes Magnus so differently depending on the game. We've seen him rush Guardian Greaves. We've seen him go for just mobility items. Now we're seeing this Crimson Guard adaptation.
I definitely see the value in the Crimson Guard, but I also kind of wonder what happens if he doesn't get a good RP in a fight. You know, like
thinking maybe like a Force Staff or Shadow Blade might make more sense.
I almost feel like it's dangerous without the Force Staff.
Okay. It's definitely risky. I think it's a fair point.
But it's almost like the safer item. Like, it's kind of risky to go that route, right? Like, this is a much safer item of saying, okay, I'm giving my team an aura, and now maybe I'll have a better opportunity to counter-initiate with an RP just through, like, a skewer or something. So.
Right. Whereas with, like, Force Staff, Blink, you're pretty much all in on your ability to hit a decent RP.
Yeah.
Ember Spirit going for the Maelstrom. Getting pretty close. Just about 500 gold off that one. Always a big item. Now a smoke for VP.
Yeah, they're smoking while they're losing a tier 2 bot, though.
Yeah, Roster Wards will get deployed, and they're not going to be able to get here in time. They do use the Glyph, so delays the push. Maybe VP will just go for Roche instead. He has regened back to full HP. Again, seeing the Roster Wards used like that, maybe giving them an extra sense of confidence. But RP has cooled down.
They see him with that Radiant Observer Ward, and now he just hops into the wave, too.
They kill it quick, but will they kill it fast enough?
Space. Oh, nice earn there. That just completely kills it, honestly.
Yeah, and looks like Forward aren't even going to rotate that way. Hard to tell if they're unaware or if they just want to let it go, but either way, uncontested, Virtus.pro grabbing Aegis of the Immortal for the Terrorblade.
Mr. Clown.
Mr. Clown indeed.
Oh, this is the Ember. This is what you worry about when you play this hero. He's out of there. Actually, back down to his team. Not able to find anything, though, but comes to his Magnus, gets a fresh and power. That's nice.
Absolutely. Team buffs here. The Ogre Magnus combo once again. This Arc Warden's also getting quite a bit of nice farm. He's got the Hand of Midas. Now his Maelstrom's going to be on the way also. also an Aether Lens for MSS. That recipe just about to get delivered. So 3 pretty big items just now getting completed for Forward Gaming.
Yeah, it seems to be his go-to on the hero. He has such short cast range that, like, percentage-wise, it's a massive buff to the hero. Like, there's some heroes you buy it on, like, you're playing Wyvern, you get an Aether Lens, like, it barely feels that different. Xiao Shaman, it really does feel like that pseudo-blink. It's such a massive increase to the range for that hero, especially with how clutch the Hex can be.
Those Stretch Armstrong shackles.
They might be able to turn this if no one's not careful. He's keeping his distance, though.
Just going to be a pick on SVG. Bit too much.
Yeah, without Universe, there's no real hope.
Feels like Forward are in this phase right now where they just want to farm until these next core items. You've got this Arc Warden who has really good net worth, but a lot of it is sitting on these items that don't provide a lot. Just that Hand of Might is still waiting for this investment to really pay some dividends. And a similar story for the Ember Spirit. He's going to go Yule's Scepter next. All the while, VP.
They're ready to go. I mean, you look at that line that's drawn there from MSS. He's like, God, they're just going to push our bottom lane in. They're just going to do this. So we need to react really quickly, and that is a big win. You are forcing the rotation of the Aegis to the mid lane.
Fight fire with fire, aggression with aggression. Working for now. Forward, backing up to their side of the river as VP are starting to close. Courier. Okay.
Solo?
Solo
He's
is
so alone right now.
drops a ward in range of a sentry. That's a bummer. We'll be able to finish off that sentry soon to expire. Small win for Forward. But they get away with it. They force him back and are able to dodge, taking an actual fight. And up top, that tier 1 does go down. Yep.
That is impressive. Doing a very good job of playing around this ball of death from Virtus.pro. Like, this is their timing, right? This is the Aegis that is supposed to close out all these tier 2s.
You can tell by the way VP is positioning. Hungry for blood
But
here.
Roger, the Invis Rune, this could be exactly, they need to crack this open. Universe would be a great target. The RP is so important for their team fight wins. Roger wants, oh my god, a sentry. You can tell the way the Ogre just instantly backs away.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think I'll just sit back here, no reason.
Backdoor protection kicking in on this tier 2, but some creeps will join the fray. Now they'll commit onto SVG. Pretty big commitment, and the Ogre will go down, as will this tier 2. Glyph not available.
So they've now snaked, though. Magnus is coming home. He's going to be a little bit late to this. I don't think he can save this tier 3.
This is so scary for Forward right now. Using the snakes like that gives VP extra confidence here.
There's still a pipe. There's still a dunk. This melee rack should go down.
They will put down the magnetic field. That'll help a little bit. Magnus stunned up. Blink Dagger gets broken. Melee barracks now under assault. They've already lost the range, and VP will get away with this. That's a mid lane of barracks down.
They got to be careful on this chase. Roger's been great this game. If they try and go for something here, he could instantly initiate on them.
Good spread from Forward, though, not giving him that opportunity for an easy dunk.
Great spread away from their melee racks to then lose them.
Yeah.
Very impressive stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you get dunked, the thing that's scary is this game could just end if they biff that fight.
No, it's true. They just got completely destroyed, though. Like,
yeah.
All it took was that one moment, like an Invis Rune just to scout behind a tower for Virtus.pro to say, okay, no one's here, just some Ogre. Go, guys.
Yeah.
It felt just like last game, where Virtus.pro had this big push on the bottom, onto a tier 3. It's almost like this is why TB is so powerful right now.
One of many reasons.
One thing just happens and it feels like your game's over.
Yeah. A ridiculous hero. A great concept. 2 ultimates. Love it. How's our Visage looking? He's picked up his pipe, another 2K gold. I have to imagine Aghanims is somewhere on that priority list, right? Another familiar out there?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's thinking, because the Crimson Guard looks like kind of okay.
I guess if you don't want the Aghanims, something like an Assault Cuirass also makes a lot of sense. He could also upgrade the Medallion into the Solar Crest, so that might be the next logical upgrade, but curious where this Visage is heading, and there you go.
Yeah,
Solar Crest
I like
secured.
that. I think that's the best call.
Yeah. Can't complain. As Scotty also picked up. Now TB getting a little more utility to his name, as well as level 15 and that extra health from the talent.
So, I mean, this is a Mjolnir Arc Warden. It's never good to say, oh, it's only 1 lane of Rex. But it really is only 1 lane of Rex versus a Ember with Empower and an Arc Warden with Mjolnir. So wave pressure is not a significant issue yet for Forward Gaming. It's still a very big moment for Virtus.pro because it's going to be increasing their net worth lead by lowering the economic gains they can get from this mid lane, but their job's not done here quite yet.
And
look at Roger. He's going to pop this smoke with a freaking Shadow Amulet. Oh,
he backs up in time. Oh, it's so unfortunate for Roger. But forward
or maybe
also,
fortunate, depending.
That's true. Although, there's the RP onto the Visage. They commit wards for this.
Yeah, that's worth 100. Oh, no! He shackled the bird!
Uh-oh.
Right,
They've got the follow-up Hex.
No,
they should be able to kill this Visage, and they will bring him down. But it's a little bit of a close call. It's a sweater.
I have to, I would have felt so bad. that kind of stuff pains me inside.
Yeah, but forward also have that dynamic of if they wipe Virtus.pro with all the roster wards, with the Arc Warden at this current state he's in, with the Necro Book, they can knock down objectives Roche very quickly themselves.
It's true. I think it's like a little slower.
Definitely a little slower.
It's a little slower.
Compared to your average draft, they've got some pretty scary pushing prowess.
They're above average, but they're below their opponents.
Perfectly said, Trent.
Much like the pedigree of this matchup, one might even say.
Well, Blink Dagger going to be secured for the Shadow Shaman. So now some more initiation for forward. And how are we looking on Roche? Another minute until we see what that timer looks like.
Man, it feels really fast.
Yeah.
I feel like we just had that thing. Been very action-packed since our first Aegis.
Absolutely. Very small lead for Virtus.pro right now. 2K net worth, despite having that mid lane of barracks, and still 2 outer towers standing.
Knowing that Roche is close, you would think that VP are very intent on getting that shrine, right? Take care of that in the dire jungle. Make sure that all of Roche is easy for you to gain control of. Now, the problem comes from that bottom lane because they lost that tier 2 earlier, and now it's only 30 seconds until Rasta, so he could wait till the 27-minute mark, but no one's already here. MSS will lurk, though. TB Illusions on the tier 2 top. They still haven't pressed forward on to the shrine.
Battle Fury up next for Yawar here.
The Desperation. It just synergizes so well with the Magnus, too. The Empower. It's like, oh, more cleave is definitely not a bad thing, really.
Yeah. Ember, one
especially
of the heroes that really loves that extra cleave. And I guess the birds as well. Just
they got a Hex onto Roger here. He's been that big hero this game.
He's going to be relatively isolated. Teammates on the low ground.
And
they
Solo.
Also catch Solo. Skewer up. 2 great picks for forward.
But unfortunately for them, it's quite a late Roche. So we just get it revealed. It'll be another 2 minutes. So hard to abuse that. It will save their shrine for a while longer.
And saves that tier 2 up top. It was definitely getting shipped away at. Resolution still shoving in lanes with his Tempest double.
Yeah, VP have wave problems.
That's for sure.
This bottom lane is becoming a serious issue. The problem is, you think TB, it's like, yeah, it is kind of a good matchup in that sense versus the Arc Ward because you can kind of meet his capacity to shove and push lanes. But then you think, where does Ramses want to play? Like, he can only really keep this illusion control in the same vicinity that he's farming neutrals and everything. He needs to be playing on that top side of the map. He can't get illusions all the way down here and pushing. That means they have to kind of commit one hero in their base to do it. And they don't even have the best support for it. Like, Dazzle's like kind of okay. But you don't want to commit someone like that. Anyway, smoked up, high ground.
Will they find someone, though? Solo, he's going to face check. Will actually get that.
He's going to know that's a very fresh observer, too. So they've been here.
All right, smoke not going to yield much for forward. No one is going to go for that Aghanims after all. About halfway to that next bird.
That blink from MSS, though.
So how do you feel about
plays.
the state of this game right now, Trent? It looked like Virtus.pro was just ripping this thing wide open. They got a very easy lane of Rax mid.
It's like
Since
game
then,
one.
This has been a stalemate. Both sides are just looking for that opportunity to catch one, and they're moving around the map in a way that's hard for the enemy to initiate. Feels like Roche is definitely the focal point both teams are going to be fighting over. But like, who has the real edge right now? It doesn't really feel like forward or that far behind.
I think forward has the edge. Because like, it's just like game one. It's the exact same situation. Game one, they had better wave push, despite the fact that they lost objectives earlier on. And then VP could never wrestle control again. Game two, that wasn't the case. They had the better control in the match, so it didn't matter. But now we've gone back the other way. Like, this Ember has just gotten to a point where he can clear waves very quickly. There is Boots of Travel, Arc Warden, and once again, it's only TB for Virtus.pro. So they just can't keep up. So what they need is they need smoke plays that result in kills. And that ended up like working well for them to a point in game one, but then they couldn't do it anymore, and they eventually lost.
Yeah.
So maybe this time they'll find these big smoke plays or something, but they've just been mulling about this mid lane for a while.
Now Roche is up. She's at the ready. Visage inside the pit. VP being a little bit cautious here, staying very spread, but Forward Gaming not in the spot to contest this, and they're actually going to head the opposite way. Looks like they'll hand this one over for free yet again.
Yeah. It took a while for them to finally get it in a position where it was okay for them, but essentially what they did is they had Ramses kind of in the middle lane. He instantly made illusions, sent them to the bottom so that the pressure was relieved just for enough time for them to go right into the Roche pit, while also creating a buffer where they seem to have been aware that the entirety of Forward Gaming were on that part of the map. So really nice positioning there. That was set up over like 2 minutes basically from Virtus.pro to take that.
No surprise to see that age just go the way of Terrorblade. Right now, Cheese in the hands of the Visage.
Question is, does this change the lane situation? And not really, right? Like,
yeah.
It's very difficult still to get that big barrel down play, but again, it comes down to smokes and pickoffs. If they can kill one key hero from Forward Gaming and stop this nice trifecta of split push, then Virtus.pro could just have another rundown to end this game.
Kind of feels the same for both sides, though. Just one pickoff could start that snowball towards the base. MSS not going to get caught by Roger. They'll back up in time. Now BKB out on the Arc Warden. And once again, Universe will go for those Guardian Greaves. Double static charge really is ridiculous. It just truly is absurd. So much
kills
lightning.
the waves so quickly.
VP all grouped up in the bottom lane here.
Man, they've done it again where they're well set. Where like the illusions have hit mid, they kill one lane or one wave just as they're expiring, and that's enough to get that pressure going, and they can mount another push into the bot. So aggressive positioning here from the Dire, using the Spark Rays to scout it out.
Ramsey's feeling confident with his fresh 10-second BKB.
Oh, they want this fight. There it is.
Magnus jumps in the backside. They get two. The wards come down. And the follow-up Hex, they are going to find that first kill on the Dazzle, it looks like.
But the dunk, they've got the Ember, they've got the Arc Warden.
Oh no, it's looking so bad for Forward now. They're all spread out, just trying to get away from the Supernova, but the Ogre gets clipped by it. He's going to get stunned and brought down. The Delta split is not going to be enough. We've seen the buyback now from the Arc Warden to try to repel these creeps in the mid. It was a very spread out fight, but so advantageous for Virtus.pro. They still have the Aegis. Cheese was expended, but now this Tier 3 will be under assault. Magnetic Field trying to slow things down, but now this Tier 3 falling quickly. There is a glyph available. Be very cautious about how they use it. 20 seconds until that Ember Spirit comes up. Resolution in the front line. He's falling quick. That's the Tempest up.
Jebaited.
I did get jebaited. Magnus, or MSS though, he is going to fall. Instant buyback for him. Ramsey's getting low on HP, looking for a Sunder, and he finds it. That's going to be the real Arc Warden. Now Resolution forced to BKB in front of his own well. It will keep him alive, but far from ideal. Now these exposed barracks taking huge damage. Forward can't do anything here as Yawar dies again. 50 seconds on the sideline with no buyback. Forward quickly running out of options here, Trent.
Yeah, they just can't find much. Ramsey's just in there, still has an Aegis, still has a BKB.
They've got no solution to this Terrorblade. The Glyph's not going to do anything at this point. Melee Barracks will fall. Still a Tier 2 standing in the top, but I think BP might be able to throne this. Sort of a bold play, but no Rost awards.
Oh, they most
no
certainly
RP.
can.
They can absolutely do it now.
Ramsey's very happy to get Sunray here in the midst of some Tier 4s. The birds are coming. The Necronomicons will try and do something, but there's not another RP for 15 seconds. Oh, it certainly looks like it. Virtus.pro.
Nice
skewer
back.
They just keep going. I mean,
Ramses.
still just Aegis.
Going to come back to life. Still one Tier 4 standing. There is also still a glyph for the Dire. Don't forget.
Maybe if there was RP right at that moment, there's like a chance, but...
Ember Spirit coming back up now with the RP. This is going to be the final hold for Forward Gaming. Last Tier 4 is down. Resolution, BKB on. It's a nice RP. Shallow Grave comes out. Are they actually going to be able to clean up these kills? Sunder from Ramses brings down Universe. Now the buyback. Supernova from Phoenix. That'll stop the Arc Warden from getting back to the well.
That's going to drive them back.
They will
the
hold.
Blink Skewer.
Very costly.
Forced into a throne push by that Tier 2 top that they were very close to bringing down several times with nothing but TB illusions.
Yeah. Sitting there on 350 HP. Not quite the death push that Virtus.pro were hoping for, but pretty close to crippling damage. 14k net worth is now the favor. Look at that XP graph, Trent. Talk about a swing.
Yeah. I will say one thing I underestimated in terms of the split push. It did look very good because they have the Ember, the Magnus, and the Arc Warden, but they didn't actually have the best creep clear when it got close to the high ground. You know, so it was hard to force them off if they ever made it anywhere close. So recognizing that forward, they tried to take that big fight outside, deeper down the wave. And it looked really good, right? Because you got the 2-man RP on both supports. You got the Dazzle and the Phoenix, but that Aeon Disc from Pasha completely saved it. Guarantee he was going to get the egg off. So yes, they're able to kill solo. He just buys back and starts running. But the play once again from Roger, MVP of this game, at least for me so far, feels like he always getting these clutch dunks off. Just help to bring down Rezo and UR instantaneously.
Another one of these games just feels like Roger's in the right place at the right time every time they need him to come in the clutch. It's top tier 2, probably not going to stay surviving for long. Yawar now feeling forced into an Eon Disc on this Ember Spirit. Never an item that you want to be picking up on this guy.
Mid 1 dotes. I mean, it looks good in some games. This is definitely not a happy game for it, I would say.
Yeah, I just mean Ember's a hero that likes to play from ahead, right? He really wants to do damage. If you're forcing those defensive items, it's never a good feeling if you're playing the Ember Spirit. 5 seconds on the RP. Skewer back onto Ramses. That'll force out his BKB. Universe now taking a lot of damage. Buybacks looking grim for the Dire, and he's not going to have it with that RP. They'll lose the Rasta as well. Yawar trying to do what damage he can, but the dunk from Roger secures the kill. 3 on the sideline without buyback. Ember will use his, but I think that's going to be it, Trent. Now with the Arc Warden dead, Forwarder out of resources.
Man.
GG is called. An epic series indeed. Forward Gaming looked so good for so much of it, but VP close it out in the end.
There's a reason. One person in this game, there's a gold icon from that Dota Plus. Not surprised, it's the Earthshaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clearly, Roger been spamming the slamming because he was completely on point that game. There's few heroes that you can completely win the game as a support player. I'm sure many of you out there know that. Earthshaker is definitely one of them. And without question, he proved that in this game. I mean, of course, he didn't do it all himself. But in those key moments, when those heroes that you needed dead had to die, it was Roger.
I'm starting to think that teams need to ban this Terrorblade against Virtus.pro. Ramses with this hero is just too much to deal with.
Ramses, not only, he showed his skill in game 2 for sure. That was just raw outclassing and outplaying by the Terrorblade, but this was a good example of just why TB in general is so strong. Because you get a slight lead, little edge, and you just crack the whole game open. And of course the Visage, they doubled down on it, took the game. Goodness gracious, Virtus.pro. Who would have thought? Top of the group.
Exciting stuff. Let's send it back to our panel to hear their thoughts.
Before the game, it was a question if Virtus.pro was going to be going with the greed of Team Forward or going to try to outpace the greed of Forward Gaming. And I guess the question has been answered. They did indeed outpace the greed by just a small margin, according to my panel. We gave them at some point 5 minutes. If they don't do well within 5 minutes, then Forward's going to take this. But, Brian, they did well.
Yeah.
They nailed that.
They did, indeed. Visage is a hero since he's known for his timings. You look at the game at 13 minutes in, you're like, oh, they have this mag lineup, it's even. But Visage is a hero that has a bad start, and then he just comes online really hard with just a few items. And the game went from nothing happening to a Roche, Rax, all in 2 minutes or something. And that's just the power of Visage and a hero that forces them to use so many abilities on him, and it enables the Terrorblade in the sense that they can't afford to focus the Terrorblade, and then you have this Dazzle in the back. So it's it looks like a hero that doesn't do all that much, but look how many times every RP went on the Visage, even in this fight, and it enables the Earthshaker, the Terrorblade to clean up, and that's the effect that this hero has, and that's why I think all of us thought we liked the VP draft a lot.
It's hard to fit Visage into a lot of drafts these days just because of how bad the laning stage is and how much emphasis is on those lanes and how many heroes it feels like just deal with it and can counter it. We see Magnus going with Crimson Guard this game. If they don't lose that early Rax, it feels like, Visage is going to fall. And Visage wasn't the most high-impact hero this game.
They duo-laned him, though.
Yeah.
At the start.
I feel like his impact was how much focus they gave him in team fights in the lane and everything. He didn't look like he did much, but that's because they made sure he didn't do much. And you can't, they only have so many resources. You can't RP the Visage and the Terrorblade when they're positioned properly.
Yeah, I mean, looking at some of those endgame damage stats, he had 10k damage. TB's doing 27k, 16k on Phoenix. Those are the heroes that, are just sitting back using their spells while Visage soaks everything up, and that's perfect. Visage has Pipe, he has Solar Crest, he's got Gravekeeper's Cloak. He wants spells thrown at him, and if he dies for his team to win a fight, that's you're totally okay with
I
that.
think it did it really well too, though. His positioning was always like just in between everyone, so they had to go on him because you can't just ignore Visage, otherwise he's just going to throw nuke after nuke and slow after slow. And his positioning was really good on the hero, proving why he's one of the best. His hero pool is very big.
And as the casters mentioned, Roger's Shaker had some clutch moments too. He was the catch. When you're versing Ember, Arc Warden, and Ember's dying these fights, it's only because Roger's there getting these Echo Slams and nice combos off.
There's a lot of pressure on him as a solo catch this game. Only a Shaker.
Yeah.
You mess up anything, your team effectively can't kill anyone.
Yeah,
And we thought it was going to be Pasha on the Shaker, wasn't it?
Yeah, we
first
thought they
anyway.
might need the core Shaker for the playmaking potential. But the Phoenix, with all that farm, proves quite strong. And when you have these like Dazzle or Shaker heroes, they're just counter initiation. So you have to have heroes that just, as Kyle would put it, dangle out in front of the enemy, and that's like Visage in a nutshell. So all the fights were Roger just being properly positioned and counter initiating the initial RP or whatever they spent on the Visage.
And with that, a Rampage closed it all out. Upper bracket for Virtus.pro. Not too surprising. Maybe surprising the way they got there.
A little rough around the edges, but
Yeah, 2-3 game series, but more practice for him, you know?
yeah, that's what it was.
Calculated. It's all good.
Not calculated, maybe.
Playing more is better.
And they had 3 very close games here. I think this speaks to Forward being a strong contender to take that second slot. Really looking forward to what is likely a Forward Gaming Alliance decider. Sorry, PainX. I haven't actually seen PainX. They could be amazing.
This this graph doesn't look entirely right, but it did feel very even for a large portion of that game. Until the last moments, that is.
I think you gotta watch out for that Dazzle Terrorblade.
Yeah, they lost it in game 2 and
scary.
then they didn't ban the Dazzle this game. I'm wondering if like Solo's never really played the Phoenix for them too, so
I mean, VP played it really well, but I feel like other teams might also just catch up, or catch on to it rather, and also start drafting the Dazzle with the Terrorblade. It kind of secures his lane very well, and then later on you have to address the Dazzle and not only the TB, which puts a lot of pressure on you.
yeah. This is also VP. I feel like just because they did first 2 pick TB 3 games, or they don't care if they're not going to get. If you start banning TB against them, they'll have options C, D, and E. Like they'll have plenty more plans.
Yeah.
For that second game, I think it almost went the way of Forward, were it not for the MVP of the series, which we've chosen to be Ramses. His Terrorblade, top notch, and it's not just because Terrorblade is a good hero. He definitely he made us think that there was a way.
Yeah, to know which one was real.
To know which one was real. He was just that good.
You know, Sunder is an easy ability to use, but to perfect it like that,
When the fights are that chaotic, it actually is not an easy ability to
It
use
is
at all.
definitely no, it's definitely not. Especially the one on the bottom lane. There were so many, and it's one thing to know which one's the real one, and then it's another to click exactly right, which sounds a little stupid because you just have to click the right one. But there's so many,
And they're phantom rushing.
and
so
they're all on top of each other. Like all the hitboxes are on top of each other. It's like
and all that in like a fraction of a second.
yeah,
It's super impressive.
probably everything like slowed down around him, like a time slow zone.
I just noticed how late he delays his BKB on Terrorblade every game. Like
Yeah,
this
I
game,
don't
he
like
went,
that
He
either.
went Manta, then Scotty, and then BKB, and even skipping the Dragonlance, something we don't see too often. I'm just noticing that, and something that seems like a playstyle preference for VP, to have him like have the Dazzle enable him behind, so like that allows you to possibly delay these defensive items.
He
Right
did
there
it.
is like the first example, and that was the easier of the of all of them.
And that one was still hard.
Yeah,
That was still difficult. This is the
there
one.
we go.
This is the one.
This is the game-breaking one.
It,
I mean, just
this is the one that made us doubt.
Oh, he maybe knows because of the Moonlight Shadow, right? Is that how? Yeah, he sees the Moonlight Shadow.
Yep, you're right.
but
So he
even
can click
then,
the right one.
yeah,
It's still hard because it's chaotic.
I
It's
mean,
a lot of mayhem.
7, 8.
Yeah.
I mean,
Still impressive. Impressive performance.
though
Definitely made it.
him not building
impact.
BKB was very bad in game 1.
Yeah,
against-
it did
They
backfire.
would have to like kind
Against
of
5 stuns, yeah.
They have to watch that game, and be like, maybe I shouldn't delay the BKB.
I don't
too
think it was
long.
the only reason they lost.
No, of course
It
not. But it was a big
one
part of
factor,
it. I think.
yeah.
Gods, I think you are the first panelist that I've ever been on a panel with that had 100% for 6 games in a row.
That's going to be on too many
range.
pounds with Kyle.
Yeah, I was thinking this. You beat me to it, man.
Fair enough, fair enough.
And to be fair to Bulldog, you know, he has a contractual obligation to go for Alliance.
Sure. We'll excuse him, Still impressive. It's been fun, and the upper bracket of Group D is done. And we're going to move to the lower bracket of Group D. And you guys are going to do that with none other than Red Eye, who will be back with you after the break.
GX50. GX50. More